This video, I'm going to be breaking down the best offense in Madden 26. This is the Los Angeles Chargers offense. They have the best offensive playbook, in my opinion. If you want to get my full ebook on this, it's going to be in our school community for just $10. It is going to be linked in the description down below. Like I said, I believe that this is probably the best offense in Madden 26, at least right now it is. And if you want to get my full scheme on how to run everything, it is going to be in our school community. That being said, I'm just going to highlight the playbook a little bit and then show you some of its potential. So if we go through here, we're just going to start with all of these, run sets. One of the most underrated thing about the Chargers playbook is this single back wing slot formation. This is really good because it has good auto motion run plays, which you don't see, but also has basic ones. So it has like the basic stretch. It has the basic dive. It has this, where is it at? 26 duo. The stretch, the dive, and the duo runs are really important. You want to have at least two of the three. And then also you can put some passing in behind this. The one that I like really personally is just the auto motion passing play. You can obviously hot route that auto motion out if you don't want it, but it gives you a tool in your toolkit to be able to have that. And they actually have some other really, really cool passing plays in this, but this is a great under center, like red zone type of situational formation. You also have single back deuce close, and it is actually a really, really good single back deuce close. You have the auto motion run again with the motion duo. You have a stretch. You also have a 0-1 trap, which I really like having at least at its core a 0-1 trap and a stretch. I think it's really good. Flood trail, great play. PA drag wheel with a little glitchy fade on the left side. I just think you have a lot of really, really cool stuff from these playbooks and from this formation. If you go over to a slot here, kind of another variation of wing slot, it's just slightly different. And what's nice about this one is this is kind of more like the shotgun a slot, but you have a motion wide zone with the zone going to a tight end side, which I think is really good. I kind of build around the actual zone, the auto motion plays here, but you do have a wide zone. Wide zone is so good. Wide zone in this game, stretch, those are just both amazing, amazing runs. You want to have those. And then you have this auto motion PA slide play that, again, you can hot route if you don't like it, but it has a stock tight end crosser, which is really cool. You off trips, I don't really ever run this one. It's kind of a unique one. Not really a whole lot to see here, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. Split T, if you want to get the big boys on the field in the red zone, you have a legit split T with like motions and stuff. Kind of cool formation. I don't really run it a lot, but you do have fullback dive, fullback toss, kind of similar to Ohio State in college football 26. And you have I form. This I form wing has a couple things that are really, really good. It has, where is that power G? This power G run is really good in the need a yard or two. Good option. Fullback dive has a nice tight end post play. And then you can run some auto motion if you want to run some auto motion. Has some cool routes on the back side of it. Motion power weak looks like a crazy play, but post shot is a great little money play in the red zone as well. I form close. They just have good fundamental runs like halfback stretch, halfback ISO, power O, and then a play action off of that if you wanted to do something like that. This play PA tight end leak is really good. It has a short post on the right and a deep post on the left. Really good combination. And it has a tight end deep corner route, and then you can hot route a short corner. So this is a really, really good little formation here as well. Y off close. Nothing too crazy here. The motion plays are kind of cool. So if you wanted to have like what I would probably do if I was running this, I don't run this specific formation a lot, but halfback stretch, you could then have like the auto motion zone weak. And then if you wanted to, you could have some of these auto motion passing plays. For example, where was that one we were looking at? This motion PA counter, this one right here, that one looks like a solid play to me. And then double outs with a nice tight end post. So good little under center stuff. It's not amazing. It's not why you run the playbook, but you do have it. You have a fullback dive out of this weak formation with a couple good run plays, and then you just need this basic Z curl with a nice post route. Like, you're good. You have everything you need there. It does have pistol tight while flex. This is a crazy formation. I think this formation is really good because you can kind of build around these cheat motions here. So like this PA cheat post comeback, kind of a crazy one. You have the cheat tight end double pass, which is just a wild play. You have the halfback zone off the same cheat motion, so you have three good ones. And then you have RPO read flat wheel, like America's favorite play, if you wanted to ever get into any of that. And the cool part about this is you can audible to this from your main passing formations, which is really cool. And then wild trips, not a whole lot too crazy. They do have some cool stuff though. I mean, they just added so many cool plays, man. Like the motion wide zone is a really nice play. The motion power, like these two right here, and then you pair that with this motion. Where was that one I was looking at? Motion PA boot slide with an auto motion wheel. Like there's just so much you can do this year with all these kind of unique motion plays and things that they've added into the game. So, anyways, those are some really good formations there. The shotgun stuff, I don't really ever run like shotgun deuce close, but you have it. Really, the main one we want to start with is this normal Y off close. This formation has a couple of money plays. It has this Y stick dig with an S post on the left and a wheel route. The wheel routes are really important this year because you can't hot route them, so having them is really good. It has the power read run. This run is really, really good. You also have this motion angle wheel is a good play. And then I believe we have red zone scissors with that S post on the right side. So not the best normal Y floats, but good, a decent one. And then if we keep going through though, they have some amazing trips formations. This Y off trio weak, such a good formation. And you have the money plays. You have PA post stick shot. You have stick. I don't know if we have that one play. We don't actually have that one. We would want to put 4 verticals here because we get that nice tight end crosser. But really, you also have that nice power read. Those power read runs are really good. You also have buck sweep out of this. We'll throw buck sweep in the audibles. But this one right here, Y off trips close. So this is a new it's technically a new name of an old formation. This is U trips. This is literally U trips. In terms of and they actually even added some new plays to it with some new combos. But this is a full U-trip. So you have all the good classic plays. You have scat with the short corner on the left side. You have, if we go through here, you have tight end whip, which is just a money play of money plays. It's such a good play because you have a short post on the right, a short post on the left. You have a speed out of the slot, a tight end zig. Like you just have money routes within this. Drag wheel gives you that wheel route to the slot receiver, which is really helpful. Y option wheel, one of the best quick hike plays in the game. You have access to that. And then if you want to throw a run in here, you have it. I really like this deep slot curl. This play is going to be really, really good again. I don't remember if we had the tight end seam streak plays. Whichever way you want to get to it is going to be good. I like this one probably a little bit better. But anyways, you have WAP trips close. You also have trips tight end, and this is a really good trips tight end because they added a couple plays. This motion Z spot play, you've got to try this play. This play is so good. It's got a short post on the left, a speed table on the right with a deep corner to the tight end, and then obviously you can hot route into other stuff. You have a quarterback zone. If you are not putting the quarterback zone in your audibles, you're crazy. If they give you a good look for a quarterback zone run, it is GG's. It's such a good run. Verticals, PA boot shot, just some classic stuff here. You could go with motion bench. I like this play because it gives you that short post on the second receiver. They just have some other stuff too, though. Like you have good RPOs. If you want to run the bubble, you have that. You have that nice inverted double post from the tight end. Like just a lot of really valuable plays. We have wide receiver short post curl flat. Like so many valuable plays here that we have access to within this. It's so shuffle motion. Like the trips it's got a great trips. Okay. You also have bunch spread. Now this is not, a top level formation, but it is a good formation and it has good plays in it. For example, one of the plays that it has that I think is really good is this motion slot under because it has a sock fade on the left and has a short corner on the right side. If you look at some of these other plays, this cheat slot cross, this slot cross is really good. You want to have something like that. It has an outside zone as the run. Outside zone runs are really good from shotgun sets. You have branch return, which is a good quick snap, very quick snappable play. Speed dig. Gosh, these are just good plays, man. No matter how you want to look at it, but these are some of the plays that I would do. I would have just the cheat plays, the cheat flood, and the cheat slot cross. I think just make the most sense. And then this motion slot under play, just because if you wanted to come out, you could also justify this motion slot hitch, but I don't think because you can hot route slot fades, I wouldn't put that in the audibles. Now we get to kind of some of the bread and butter stuff of this playbook, the bunch strong offset formation. This formation is insane. As you take a look here, a couple of my favorite plays out of this. Corner strike. This is a play. I actually think corner strike might be the number one play in the game. We're going to put flood and we're going to put dagger in our audibles. Those are really good audibles there. You have another thing that's crazy is you have a duo run from a bunch formation. Really good in this game. Make sure you have that duo run if you're running Chargers. That's one of the best. It's just such a good run. You've got to have that run. The only other thing in terms of an audible that I would recommend, honestly, is this motion, either the red zone PA corner to get kind of a freestyle play action blocking play, or motion deep post, or there's another one. I can't remember if it was in here. Might be in a different play. Honestly, you put the pin pull toss there. You could have a little little deal there. But I think motion deep post makes the most sense just because it gives you a big boy post on that slot receiver. So anyways, Bunch X Nasty. This is another reason why this is such a good formation. They actually have a really good Bunch X Nasty, probably one of the best Bunch X Nasties. They have the money play, motion cross post. This play is going to be really good this year. You need to have this in your audibles. Another one that they have is in this their running plays from this. They have that motion RPO zone alert. I like it because it's an RPO off of the same auto motion. Pretty good little play there. And then you have some other little things. So, for example, this SFT motion or bounce mesh drive motion, I really like this play because as a short corner, it has a unique motion to the running back. Pretty good all in all. And so I'm going to put that in the audibles. You kind of, honestly, you might want to base out a Bunch X Nasty. The more that I look at this, you kind of want to come out of Bunch X Nasty if you're running this, in my opinion, just because their Bunch X Nasty has literally so many good plays. The only other one that I would say you have to have in your audibles, in my opinion, I think you have to either have drive halfback under or this SFT bounce PA double post because this just has big boy routes on the field. You have, just really, really nice routes within this. And this is such a good formation. Tight open. It's another one that while it's not like the best, it's a great mix-in formation that gives you some good money plays that you have here. You also have, so as far as audibles, what would I do here, right? I would actually suggest the halfback draw as one of your audibles here. Branch return with a little return right on the left. Verticals halfback burst, you have to have that one. Bench is just a quick snap play, quick step plays. I'd probably go Diggs D spot just because, or mesh spot, either way. I'd probably go mesh spot now that I look at it. And maybe even with branch return, I still think you want to have these really cool return routes because the hot routed return route's not as amazing as the other ones. But guess what they added this year? They added tight offset, tight end. And I'm telling you right now, you put 0-1 and inside. You put both of these in here because these two runs are amazing. You have PA seams, such a powerful play, just such a powerful play. And then we have some short corner type stuff like Y out where we're able to have that big boy post. We have the short corner. And then if you wanted to, that's probably all you really need. I would say spot gives you a short corner on the other side. So if you're a heavy passer, maybe you just have 0-1 trap and you have spot there. But I think you have everything you need within these audibles. Now, I'll just show you some of my favorite basic combos. But as you see, I could talk about this playbook for a while. It has got everything you need in it. But what's cool about this is if we just get on the field here, we're playing just a basic, cover 4. What we can do is just simply run corner strike. All you got to do, set it up, streak the slot receiver, and this short corner on the right side is really good. As you see, we're just able to hit that nice window on that right side. Another thing you could do, because baseline is no longer in the game, if you stem this corner out, a lot of times he'll be able to out leverage that quarter flat defender, as you see right there, and they're going to have a hard time stopping this in cover 3 or cover 4. I really like the stem down corner. I still think it's really good in Madden. It was amazing in college football. But the other thing you have here, you're going to get a lot of this in this game, and you have to be ready to be able to beat it. You're going to get a lot of man coverage. And so how do you beat man coverage? You use a speed in route to your running back. Watch this running back route. Just absolutely cook the man coverage defender on that left-hand side. Another thing that you have in this is you have dagger, and this dagger play is so simple. Just cross over the slot receiver, snap the ball, and you got high-low reads for high-low reads, and it's just everything is open. It is so good. This is such a basic level play, but it's a really, really good play. Another one that I love is flood. How do you not love flood? All you got to do is stem the tight end corner all the way down. This fade on the right takes care of every zone, and you can just throw this tight end corner into these little windows that are created by this flat defender. Let me try to show that a little bit better. I got kind of crazy pressure for the first time. I actually think they did some tuning to practice mode sheds to make it where they don't shed as bad, but that could be me. I'll show you another really cool combo that you need to be using if you're running Chargers. But first and foremost, I want to show you that you can complete this corner. So you'll see right here, look at that little window for that deeper corner to the tight end. Such a good route. And then the other thing that you have so many hot routes. This is another thing. Like, this is why Chargers is so good, because one of the routes you need this sharp corner on the right. But what you have is you could go with a slot fade, a streak, a backside drag, very high level combo right here. And this short corner is just going to get wide open, so much space to be able to attack on that right side. Another reason we like flood and having a flood type of play is for when your defense, as I bump that button, when your defense goes cover 2. So when the defense goes cover 2, this flood corner is going to run over the top. As you'll see here, runs way over the top of that cloud, and it's super hard for them to be able to defend that. So you're able to just attack every level, every space of the field. And then what if they're sitting 4 out of cover 4? Well, then you go to flood and you put that tight end on a streak and you just hit the simple seam reads. These are just wide open. You got to be able to, hit every part of the field. And this offense can do that. You also have this backside C route. This backside C route, for when they're hard flatting out of a cover 3 or cover 4, kind of an underrated route. You can catch that on the outside corner pretty regularly in this year's game. And then also you have dagger. Another good setup of dagger is just post the tight end, and you can run it like that. And now you have a high-low read, but you have 2 really good clear out streaks, and that post just gets into a really, really nice spot. So you have a lot of powerful things against from bunch. The other thing that you have here is if we take a look at the audibles. So some of the audibles, right? So remember, we can go 1 click to the right, and that gets us to this bunch X nasty. All we're going to do is table the running back, streak the solo receiver, and then that's pretty much it. You're pretty much good. If you want to stem this tight end post down, it makes it a really kind of unique post. And then you have this little cheat motion route. This cheat motion route gets over the top of a cover 2 man if they don't have safety help. So like right there, you saw that I had safety help on that right side, and so it played it pretty good. But what if, let's say somebody starts to get adjusty and they don't actually have safety help anymore. So for example, maybe they take that safety on the left side and they put it in the middle of the field to play the middle third. Well, now, and especially if you have a little bit faster of a player, but you'll see that shade down man just gets absolutely fried by the cheat motion. This is why cheat motions are so important in this game. Another reason why cheat motion is important is one of the meta defenses that you're going to face in this game is you're going to face cover 0, somebody adjusting kind of out of like a mid-blitz type of defense. I can show it from Penny, but someone adjusting out of a 3-3 cub type of look. Well, what's really cool about this auto motion is, let's say you do that. So let's say they're adjusting their defense, right? So they're going to send 5, but they're going to adjust, right? Because they know that you've been hitting the man coverage. So now they're going to adjust their coverage. And they're going to play something like this, for example. Well, what happens is when you motion this auto motion, when this guy goes across and he goes across really, really fast, you could run a combo like this, for example. And by the way, every play that you call on offense, unless you know a slide pro, reset that pass protection to base. It's the best protection in the game. But as you see here, watch this corner on the right side. He's going to follow the auto motion across. It misaligns the defense completely. And now we have them out leveraged over here on this right side to be able to attack. So it does a really good job at kind of countering any kind of cover 0 blitzing meta that you're going to face. That play right there is money for that. The other reason why these auto motion plays are so important to have in your offense is because they also do a really good job because they force you to stay in a kind of more static type of defense, more like a cover 4 drop or cover 3, something like that. But now look at this little outside cheat wheel against an outside quarter. You see how that seam streak kind of pulls the zone defender, and then you're able to hit this in a really, really cool, unique spot. This is also it's just really good against everything, man. If they want to run cover 2 against you as well, that's another reason why I love this play. Stop squats have matching logic within them. And so this is why we put the running back on the table route. You honestly don't really need, now that I think about it, you don't really need to hot rod this guy to a drag if you don't want to. His crosser's a little shallower than I thought it was. You can, but you don't have to. But what you're going to see is against cover 2, first and foremost, look at this outside cheat motion play, just pop cover 2. Just does a really good job of kind of just attacking a soft spot within a cover 2 zone. Now you might say, well, Cody, what if they put cloud flats over there? Isn't that going to affect this play? It's really not. It's going to make it a little bit more of a throwing lane, but you're going to see here that once he clears that cloud, as you see on that left side, he's able to just break down zone coverage so easily within this cheat motion play. Another coverage shell that you need to kind of be prepared to be able to handle is any kind of like cover 3. And a lot of times, one of the best ways to attack cover 3 is to throw the ball in the seams. And so, as you'll see here from this play, motion cross post, we're able to do that. We have a seam streak on the left side here. So they go cover 3. Well, now, as you see, I can still throw my auto motion, by the way, because it's that powerful of a route. This is why you need to be using cheat motion plays. They are so good. But also, now let's say, again, it kind of depends a little bit on what we're doing here with this guy. But what a lot of people do is more of a cover 3 buzz type of look. And so, or a cover 3 sky type of look. But anyways, what you're going to see here is when I run this play, you're going to see that this seam streak, if they don't have anybody in that area, you see how there's a nice pocket to be able to hit that. Not to mention, guys, that let's say they just defend this perfectly. Let's say they defend this as perfectly can get. Like I said, this is literally the definition of a money play because it breaks down every coverage and it's only 2 hot routes. You can audible to it really quick. When you audible to these cheat motions, the motion runs a little faster. But look at where that post gets to in that soft spot over the top of those linebackers once that shallow kind of runs underneath. I mean, this is literally the definition of an absolute money play that is good against pretty much every single defense that you're going to face. So you have that within your Bunch X Nasty, but you also have, and this is what I wanted to show, this SFT bounce mesh drive. So the reason I love this play is, number one, it's very quick snappable. Literally just streak the slot, you're done. You snap this ball, you get this little cheap bounce motion here to the right side. What I like about that is that kind of just makes it a really simple high-low read, and you have a short corner. These short corners are so important for being able to break down coverage in this game. So again, SFT bounce drive, literally just streak the slot receiver. As you see, this short corner is stemmable. You can stem him down 1. It makes it a little sharper, but you're just going to see, look at where he just kind of gets to. Just a soft spot against those cover 4, cover 3 coverages. And then let's say that you're playing somebody and they start running a little bit of cover 2 on you, right? Cover 2 with the cloud flats and yada, 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 right? Well, when they start doing that, then we can go to this this motion cross post play again and run this other setup that I think is really good, where we have a stem down corner, we have a seam streak, and you're going to see that the stem down corner is going to get over the top of the cloud on the right side if he actually runs his route. We're going to have to throw this on the run. I'm just bluing everything perfect, but as you see there, really nice. Really nice window to be able to hit that against that cover 2. So you have options against cover 2. Cover 2 is really the only coverage that they can really run on the bunch side that you're not going to be able to just flat out manipulate. That being said, though, it's going to be hard to stop you in a cover 2 because you can just high-low the flat defender. I think, this play flood is really good against cover 2 because the deep half gets pulled by the outside fade. The flat gets pulled there. And then I don't know how Mitchell just made the play of his career. I don't know how he played that well. Let me actually show that one more time. But you just have a lot of options. Just stem down the tight end corner. If you want to stem down the in route all the way, you can do that. That just makes it more like a drag. But yeah, that's crazy that soft spot's going a little deeper. Soft spot. Shout out to soft spot. Soft spots are good. They don't play anything underneath, but you have the hole underneath, by the way. But anyways, these are just some of the money plays out of here, man. There's so many. And I haven't even gotten to some of the ones I wanted to talk about. So like PA seams, for example. This is such a good play. The reason why this play is so good is just because it's quick snappable. It's very much so a quick snap play. You don't really even necessarily need to do anything. The only thing that I would say to do is to take this outside or this corner here, put him on a corner, stem him all the way down. This is the double corner combo. Why is this play good? This play is good because this deep corner on the short side will pull everything to him. He'll pull literally everything. So you'll see here that this short corner just gets in a nice soft spot against the coverage. Now, if you want to go a little bit even more so here, and this is how you can use audibling to attack different hashes very quickly. So we're going to go to PA seams, corner this guy, stem him all the way down, and then on the backside here, we can just drag the tight end, put the running back on a little streak if we want to do that. And now we have just a really nice high-low read where we can just easily take advantage of some of the soft spots within the coverage that they're putting on us. Another thing we have here is we do have out of this bunch X nasty, this PA double post. We'll show you this against man coverage. So again, like I said, I think man coverage is going to be one of the strategies people utilize early on in the year. The bounce motion, he's still going to be on a play action. So what I would rather you do is just put him on a route. I don't know why. Okay, I guess I can't. Awesome. Perfect. Love to see that. But anyways, let me see if I max protect. Can I just max protect him? Yes, no? Okay, that's terrible. All right, but anyway, you have a speed flat to the outside. You have a crosser. Literally just streak drag. That's all you got to do. And then what you should see here is one of these routes should get open. There you see there's that post route finally. He kind of cut. Took him forever. He got pressed into the ground. Shout out to Quentin Johnson. Kind of struggling. One of my favorite players in college, but kind of struggling in the NFL. But anyways, SFT, PA double post. You can do a lot with this play. And I just think this post route's just good because it's a good post route. It beats man consistently-ish. And then it just breaks zone down really well. Another play that you have for man-to-man, because I did want to give you a couple man plays. So another thing you can do against man-to-man is you can go back to, where are we at here? Tight offset to play Y out. Why is this play good against man coverage? You have a short corner on the left side. All you need to do is just simply drag your tight end, and you're pretty much set up. Now, I would base protect, put your running back on whatever. And what you're going to see is these short corners, they're just really good at beating man. As you see there on the left side, that's why you need to have short corners in your offense, and that's why this tight offset does such a good job. One of the other things that you can do this year is you can, you do it every year, but you can really do it this year, is come out short side bunch and then go into wide side trips or flip into wide side bunch. So if I want to run bunch, I'll just flip, and now my bunch is to the wide side, right, as you can see that. But the other thing that you can do is you come out in your base formation. They're setting up their bunch defense. They know there's a lot to defend there. But now we go to trips tight end, and we have this short post on this outside receiver. This is amazing. It's an amazing route to be able to consistently beat man. And really, all you're going to do here is you're just going to streak and drag. So something like that. Real simple. But watch this short post route. See how it cuts sharply over the middle of the field? It has the reason I love short posts and short corners is because they have a cut within the route that is going to allow them to be able to consistently attack both man and zone coverage. So again, I'm going to go back over here to this trips. We have that post. If you want to, the other thing is that this post, you can stem it up once. This is going to make it a little bit more like a PA snag type of setup. I love the stem down the corner, but basically what you're going to see here is that short post. Even though you have like a rather average receiver running it against a good corner, the route itself does a really good job of beating man. This opens up a plethora of possibilities and things you can do, and this is why I love Chargers book. Another combo that we have is we can flat and whip this left side, and then on the right side, we're going to use that stem down corner and then have a running back clear out streak. So it looks like that. I think this is a really good play. You got a little whip route against man coverage. You got that short post. I don't know why 43 is. I don't even know how 43 just did that. But let's show that one more time. I'm actually going to contain because I'm getting crazy sheds at $1, which is wild because I actually was thinking they tuned down the sheds a little bit in practice mode. But anyways, you have this motion Z spot, flat, this guy, zig this guy, and then you are good to go, man. Like, this is a great combo. It's really a little better for zone, but what's nice is you have, I just want to show off that short post. That short post is money. It's a money play in this game. And again, they can't really run man because our auto motion plays. They can't really run match because match has got so many issues. You know, it's just hard to defend this formation, and it's hard to defend everything you can do. And then they're going to be forced to kind of start going to more of a zone defense. That's where we go to our trips tight end, our verticals play. Very simple. Just put the running back on a Texas, and then you're going to go. And this slot seam is money. You can hit that seam streak every single time. Guys, the Chargers playbook is absolutely lethal in this game. It's by far and away probably my favorite playbook in the game right now. Another thing I wanted to show you real quick, we'll just go up against some random plays. Just a little mini scheme in the red zone, man. Just a little mini scheme in the red zone. We didn't even get into the U-trip stuff. We don't. I have to show you that. I'm going to show you the red zone, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you this. But this is what I love. This is simple. Just come out and stretch. If they're in goal line like this, normally the stretch will clear, as you see like that. It's pretty good against this. And then let's say they come out in a little bigger set like this. Then you can go to your little duo run. The duo run's really hard to stop in this game. Like, you want to be utilizing the duo run. You want to run a little weak side stretch. We can do that. Kind of cut it up. Not able to get a good run there. But you also have the dive. But I just think this wing slot stretch is really, it's just a great run down here. And then if you wanted to, you could pass. You have motion PA slide. Why I like this play. So the reason I like this motion PA slide, I'm going to cancel the auto motion here. But you actually have the ability in this year's game to put your tight end on a zig. So I'm going to zig the inside tight end. The outside tight end can do really whatever. Just put them on a drag, whatever you want, maybe even a curl. A curl makes a lot of sense, honestly. So anyways, what you see here is watch this little speed flat off the snap. You're going to get that little flat. I don't know what we just did there on 93. You know what? We're going to change that up a little bit, that combo. So we're going to zig this tight end, and then we're going to take this other tight end, and we can put him on a wheel. This wheel is a very flat wheel, which is really, really good for getting separation. And then the other thing that you can do on the backside here is we can put this outside guy on really whatever we want. So I like a drag and an in route, or a speed out and a drag. Something simple. But what you're going to get here on the right side is that zig just gets open. That's what I wanted to show. It's just the power of the zig in this year's game in the red zone. It's going to be money for you. Very, very consistently is going to be there for you. Another thing that you can do from this wing slot, again, this is if you want to pass, is you can take the tight end, put him on a crosser, so like a tight end crosser, and then you have kind of some backside stuff. But really, what I like would be something like this right here, where we have that slant out on the right side, not able to hit that, but then we can come backside and maybe hit that crosser if we weren't getting pressured. I don't pass the ball a lot down here. You want to be running the ball. Running the ball is your friend inside the 5 because you're not going to make turnovers. And really, the easiest way to get stopped is to get stopped in the red zone. So you want to be running the ball. That being said, the one last thing I totally forgot, because this is how good Chargers playbook is. Sometimes you don't even realize like what all you have here. You have the trips, you have the bunch strong, you have the bunch nasty, but you also have U-trips, and why I absolutely love U-trips. I think U-trips is a great formation. We've never seen U-trips be like a secondary formation, but I actually think it might be this year. And the reason why is because it's such a seamless audible from bunch. So if you see here, if I'm in bunch, if I audible to this Y off trips close, you see pretty quickly we can get to this U-trips. Now, what we're going to do here is watch the wheel. You're just going to corner out your tight end. And why do I love U-trips? Because it beats man coverage. These are just good man-beating plays. Why? Because you have a short corner and you have a short post. Short corners and short posts beat man coverage every single year that I've been playing. And you're going to see it again this year. These short posts and short corners are routes that you need to have within this. We didn't even get into this wild trio, as you have the wild trio as well. Like tight end whip, for example, what's also nice about this play is you have the short post from the outside receiver on the right side. So it becomes even harder for them to identify what you're doing. And then you can really just run basic combos here on the back end of this really one of the best ones is just a basic slot fade. It's such a good route in this game. But what you're going to see here is that short post on the right side. Didn't quite get the separation I wanted there. Sometimes two men under can cage randomly. I will say that just because the press. But normally this is going to be a little bit more consistent than what we got right there. So we'll try it one more time. And if it's not, I will say too, though, the route Williams is on is a little bit worse than the route that McConkey's on. It's a little different. But we'll see if we can hit this. You see, okay, he's not going to get open for whatever reason. I think it just could be a speed thing, honestly. It could be that, something as simple as that, because sometimes in regs, these guys are a little slower. We didn't even get into this formation. Bunch spread. Got that too. Little short corner on the right side. Stock fade on the left. Like, there's a lot of combos you could build on that. But let's go tight end whip one more time. And again, another little combo that you could do here is just a fade on the outside, and you got the flat zig kind of stickish combo, but then look at that post, just fry over the middle of the field. Like, such a good little formation where you can attack different parts of the field. Another piece of this formation that is really good is what they'll do. A lot of times in U-trips, they'll run like zone, and they'll run like cover 3 hard flat to the left side. If they run like, so it would practically look like this. So like, you would get a cover, like a roll coverage, because the vert hook will defend the tight end route, and then the user's kind of over here for the post. That's typically what you'll get. But anyways, what you're going to see here is we could take this running back. This is kind of a super underrated combo. We have a speed out. We could use a speed out. We could also just use a corner. But a running back streak in a corner, it looks a little weird, but it's actually really good. You're going to see here that corner just gets underneath of that deep quarter, and you can hit that consistently if they're wanting to run cover 3 on that backside. So again, just another route that you have in your arsenal. I didn't even go over the speed out against man. I wanted to cover that real quick. So let's go over tight end whip. So if they do give you more man-to-man based coverage, man coverage is shaded inside. Another reason why U-trips is so good is because they get a slot receiver here, and slot hot routes are really good. I can speed out this guy up, and you'll see that the speed out really cooks man coverage from the slot receiver position in this year's game. So it's just a great route to have, and you have access to it within this. That's another reason why I like bunch spread. You can use a speed out on this underneath guy like that, and then you can have a tight end streak. And again, it looks real basic, but it's so good because it's good against man, and it really will just pop man coverage. You'll see, look at that speed out on the right side, just a 5-yard speed out. You're getting easy, 7 to 10 yards. So there's just so much, man. I could talk about this literally forever, but this is a amazing formation in this year's game and amazing playbook. I think Chargers is so good. If you want to get my full Chargers offensive ebook, it is going to be available in our school community. And sign up for that, all you got to do is go down and click the link in the description below. The Atlanta Falcons offensive playbook is one of the best playbooks in all of Madden 26. And in this video, we're going to be breaking down the playbook, showing you some of my favorite audibles, my favorite ways to run this scheme, and kind of some of the best tips and tricks for the Falcons playbook. Now we're going to go right ahead and get into it. It starts out with the Singleback wing tight Z, as this is a good red zone type of formation. You have the 26 duo, you have the halfback dive, you have tight end attack, and you have PA drag wheel. Really good plays there. At the wing pair position, I like to use the play halfback stretch, halfback dive, tight end attack, and then I love this 26 duo. I think this is a great little 3-play run scheme with a decent pass off of it. They also have this Singleback tight Y off, kind of a unique formation in this year's game. I like to set the cheat halfback dive weak. I like to set the cheat stretch weak, and then really from there, a couple of the passes that I think are actually pretty good are the PA cheat cross here, and then the fake cheat, or I'm sorry, not the fake cheat, but the, where's it at? PA post dig. Now, they also have the Singleback tight Y flex. This formation is really good because you have wide zone, and then it also has a 0-1 trap. These combination of plays right here are really important. It helps you kind of have a good run out of a 3-by-1 type personnel. And then really the last play is kind of up to you. I'll put a jet sweep in there. Now we get into some of these I formations. Not a whole lot too crazy to break down. Their I close is kind of a standard I close. They have the I form wild close with the auto motions, which is kind of a fun little thing. You also have this slot stack. What's nice about the slot stack is you have the stretch, the ISO, and then if you wanted to, you could have a jet sweep within those runs. They also have weak H close off. I don't think this one's too crazy. It does have an auto motion within it, which is always good to have. But we're going to go ahead and get up into this pistol wing slot. So I like this formation because you have a jet touch pass, you have a zone alert bubble, you also have a halfback slam. So you have a good running set, and then you also have a nice little bubble screen attached to it. So kind of a decent thing there. They do have a pistol bunch, which is kind of a really unique formation, and it has an auto motion halfback stretch. It also has a duo run. These are really valuable runs to have. You have 4 verticals, which is always a good play to have. And then you have an auto motion play with this motion PA stretch. So kind of a really unique pistol bunch. They do have pistol bunch tied in, which is a great formation to audible to. And they actually have some cool plays in here. I like to set the speed option. I like the halfback zone run. And then you kind of, when you want to pass here, you got to have verticals. Verticals is such a good play. And then really from there, you could do a couple of different things. You could have another passing play. I personally prefer these. I just think these short quarters are so important in this year's game. So I like to set one of these as my audibles as well. Even though it's, and then you could kind of intermingle. Like if you wanted to, there's some other good plays here. This, where's it at? The strong power, the halfback counter. Those are good running plays to have. So if you wanted to be a little bit more run heavy, you can obviously adjust your audibles as you see fit. Moving on to the shotgun formations here, they do have a shotgun deuce close. This formation, there's always just good stuff in it. I think one of the things they did this year is they added a lot more short corner type plays. This motion wide receiver corner is a really, really good play to have access to in your playbook. And then you also have an outside zone here. And then you have this play bench dig curl that has a unique short corner on that other side. So those are just some good plays to have that I think just kind of give you some unique routes that you're not going to get otherwise. And then, if you wanted to, you could have this RPO. I think this RPO is really cool because it does have a duo run, basically, and then it has an RPO off of it. Wing slot offset, not something too wild. There are some kind of unique auto motion plays, but nothing too crazy here. This gun tight Y off, I love this formation. The reason why I love this formation is it actually has kind of a hidden formation within a formation. This tight Y off has essentially a hidden bunch strong. And so the audibles that you want to set here is motion mesh spot. You want to have motion slot choice and motion Y corner. These are kind of the obvious ones that you want to have here. And then this last one is really up to you because it kind of is essentially its own unique formation within it. I think just having either tight end corner or 0-1 trap makes a lot of sense right here. The next formation they have is the tight flex. I think this formation is really good as a mix-in formation, something that you can audible to, and they actually have some really, really good plays in their single back tight Y off flex. One of the best and just a staple play is going to be this play cross. You want to have this play PA post shot, and then really from there, this last one, I really like this play inside high-low. I actually don't believe in having a run from this because I love having at least one of these empty motions. I think the empty motion mesh rail is kind of the clear-cut winner in that spot. So that's kind of how I set that formation up. They also have this bunch wide nasty. This is a great formation, and this was really good last year. Cheat wheel post, such a good play. It has a stock short post on the left side, which you can kind of build around that play. You've got verticals, kind of some of your basic bunch type stuff. They also have this cheat drub crosser. I don't feel like that play necessarily needs to be in the audibles, but corner out dig, you could put that play in there. The other one that I think makes kind of a run is this branch return, just because it has a stock return route
And in my opinion, in this year's game, if you can have a stock return route, it really does make kind of all the difference. The stock return routes are much better than the hot route return routes, in my opinion. So I like to have that return play in the offense. Bunch spread. This is not a formation we use a ton, but it is a formation where we can get some things accomplished. This play motion slot hitch has a short post on the left side. This play motion curl flat corner has a short corner and a stock speed out. So those are two plays I think you definitely want in your audibles. And then really this last one is kind of up to you. There's some versatility within this. You could go motion slot under with the short corner on the right side. You could also go, actually, you know what I am going to do here? Motion curl flat. I'm going to put this as motion slot under just because it also gives us a stock fade on the left and the short corners from the same receiver there. And then you don't really, there's not a whole lot else. The other thing I was going to say is the outside zone. I think that needs to be in your audibles here. And then this PA play, if you want to use the play action, you could certainly justify using a play action play. But I think really the play that makes the most sense is this play corner divide because it has a unique post route to the right side receiver. And then we get into some of the normal off close and some of the other things that they have in here. This normal Y off close week is, nothing too crazy. It is a decent formation, but it's not something, this is again a little bit more of an audible type formation. I think some of the plays you have is pivot seams is really good. PAY cross is really good. And then you really kind of get into, again, some of just like what do we want to get accomplished here at the end of the day? I like having a base run. I think base is a pretty good run. And then also red zone scissors is a decent play just because it has all that stock. Really can kind of do whatever you want with that. I think I'm going to go double post here just because of the versatility of that play. Now, as we kind of get into here now, we start to get into some of the other things that we can do from an audible around perspective that I think is really, really effective. This formation trail I flex, we have verticals with the seam streaks, we have PA crossers. We also have in here a pretty interesting way to run the ball. This RPO alert Omaha has a really good kind of RPO tagged into a run play that you can utilize. If you wanted to do any of the motion stuff, you could certainly do that within this playbook. But I think the play that makes the most sense is really going to be this, was it cross flood with the unique route to the tight end or this inside post out. Either one of these are going to be pretty decent for you. I think I'm going to just have some fun going cross flood there. Trips by slot, not a formation I use a ton. It's actually not bad. You have halfback off tackle. You have a really good four verticals with the seam streaks. You also have this high-low dig with a unique route to the middle guy that I think is really good. And then if you wanted to, you could kind of run this go double post with the unique post route on the right. You have a short corner on the right as well. Like there are some plays within this that actually make a lot of sense. But Y off trips close, this is actually U trips. And this is a full U trips here. They added this into a lot of playbooks, which I thought was a great decision. And basically, you have a couple different plays that I think you want to have when you have a U trips. You want to have tight end whip. You want to have scat. Those are two kind of staple plays. Then from there, it honestly kind of becomes a little bit more preference based. Like, for example, Wobsha Wheel makes a lot of sense to me just because it's a very easy, quick hike type of play. But I think, if you're trying to get the most bang for your buck, slot out because you have that stock fade on the left side, and then you can kind of build around that. Or if you wanted to, another play that you have in here is this play X curl, or where's the other deep slot curl. Either one of those are fine. And then the run plays, you could either go with the power run or the mid draw. Those are really the two best runs in that formation. And now we kind of get into the why you run Falcons book, and that is really for their bunch formations. So their bunch formations, they have some of the best plays in the game. Number one, they have Y curl from regular gun bunch. They have base. They have verticals. These three plays always stay right here, right? The only one that really changes would be this one. And it really is kind of dependent on, honestly, preference and what you want to do. I think it makes the most sense to go with deep corner just because this play is going to get the most amount accomplished for your offense. The next formation that I'm going to recommend here is this bunch tight end. This bunch tight end has got some kind of really unique plays in it as well. The RPO alert bubble to me makes the most sense to have in here. And then really you kind of get into like what are the routes that you really want. The draw is actually really good. But I would say that really one of the plays that you want to have here is you want to have this play boomerang. Where's that play at? Boomerang PAY wheel. You can kind of build around that with a short post and things of that nature. You have inside cross. Inside cross is a cool play. Mill slot option is also a really good play. Spacing for the stock flat. But I probably would just either put tight end corner in here or leave it like this. These are pretty versatile plays that you can kind of build around. And then their money formation. This is going to be your base formation. You're going to come out in this and run this really for the majority of the game is their bunch offset. This, in my opinion, is the best bunch offset in the game. And the audibles you want to have, in my opinion, is the PA cheat switch comeback or the PA cheat switch dig. Either way, I'm going to probably go with the dig just because it'll be a little easier of a setup. For the run, I don't even know that you necessarily need a run in bunch, to be honest. You could just leave this inside zone, or you could run this cheat outside zone just because it has the same auto motion aspect of it, and the outside zone is a good run. I don't know. I don't know that you even necessarily need that, but I like to have, I normally like to have a run no matter what formation I'm in. And then really, vert tap back under to me makes a lot of sense in that spot. And then really, other than that, I would probably say like you could kind of do a lot of different things here. I think wide trail and your audibles makes a lot of sense. So those are kind of some of the main plays there. And then that's pretty much it as far as audibles. Like I said, I'm going to probably come out and bunch every single play. And really, it's going to start with this bench pivot play. Now, the way you want to run this, and we talk about beating man coverage consistently here, this offense is going to do a really good job of being able to beat man coverage. So what you're going to do is you are going to run, if you want to beat man coverage in this bench pivot play really good, you have a running back flat, a drag to your tight end, and then a unique whip route here to the right side. You're going to see that whip route is normally going to fry man coverage. It's just going to get you consistent separation within the offense. Now, if you're enjoying this little Bills mini scheme or Bills breakdown, check out our school community. That's where you're going to get access to the full offensive and defensive ebooks that we offer for Madden and for college football. So if you want to sign up for that, that link is going to be in the description down below. Now, the other thing about this play that I really like is having these in routes and drags. Right there, we get kind of crazy cage by man coverage. Happens a lot in practice mode for whatever reason, but normally this tight end route is going to give you a pretty good chance at being able to attack man to man. We'll see if we can actually cross the face. There we go. And you see how that tight end route is really effective for attacking different types of man-based coverages. Another play that I really like out of this is this PA cheat dig. Couple setups for you here. First and foremost, you always want to be resetting your pass protection to base. You do that by hitting L1 and then hitting down on the left joystick. And what I like to do here, just a basic drag and then a post. So it looks like this. And then I got to reset that protection one more time. And the reason why this is so good is just because the cheat motion really messes with a lot of things in this game because of no baseline. And you're going to see that the cheat motion is going to run across. And then you are going to have kind of your backside reads here. Let's see if we can hit that tight end. Normally the drag or the posts are going to be wide open for you. The other thing that I like to do is if someone is running a lot of man coverage on me, I will typically go to this combo out of this formation, which is a drag on the left. With the running back, you can kind of do whatever you want. If you wanted to put the running back on a streak, if you want to put the running back on a flat, if you want to block the running back, any of those are good. But then on the right side here, we're going to put a corner route and stem him all the way down on that right side. You're going to see that slot corner is going to take a step to the inside. And normally what that's going to do is it's going to give you pretty consistent separation on that receiver. Another way that we can really attack man coverage is doing that same exact play, but now instead of putting that guy in the corner, we're going to put the tight end on the corner and we're going to put the slot on a flat. Looks a little wonky, but what it does is it gives the tight end a lot of space to be able to work against a man coverage defender, which is super helpful when we're talking about trying to consistently attack man coverage. Another play that we have that is really good against man-to-man is going to be this play, trail. Couple different ways you can run this play. I think what makes the most sense is really just a tight end wheel route on the right hand side with a running back in. So it looks like that, kind of like a double post type of setup. And you're going to see that this post route is going to be pretty consistent for you if you are getting a high degree of man-to-man coverage. That is something that you're able to hit within this formation. Another thing you could do is go to your bunch tight end. Now, if I know that I'm going to go to bunch tight end, I'm normally going to come out in my bunch to the short side of the field. So to kind of illustrate that, we're going to go ahead and flip our play. And then what we would do is audible into bunch tight end. Now, as you see, we have this short post on the right side. If I stem this down, that's going to make it even more of a short post. And then what I would probably do is really just a simple, almost mesh-like combo. And you can even run, the boomerang motion. You can do whatever. But what you're going to see here is that this short post on the right side, see how he kind of cuts in front of the defender and he gets really nice separation against man coverage. So that's another option. Another thing you have in this playbook, though, because there is so many good formations in here, is you have the play cross out of tight flex. This has been one of the best man beaters in Madden for years. These two drags, one of them almost always is going to beat man coverage, and you just have a ton of ways in which you can break down man coverage. Now, another formation we have to go over, in my opinion, is this tight Y off. And the reason why is for the auto motion, or the kind of unique plays within it. This auto motion mesh play is just a really, really good play. A couple different things about this play. I think in general, what I would do here on the left-hand side is I would streak this left-hand guy like that. And then you could really just either pretty much basically just run this play as is. But what you're going to see here is this streak is going to clear out the deep blues. And then this little fade route is going to actually out leverage zone coverage to the outside, which is one of the reasons why I think it is so effective. Another thing that I like, and we're talking about like beating a cover two coverage, I think that this PA switch dig is very good at attacking any kind of cover two. You're going to see here that this auto motion streak is going to kind of get into a nice spot against the cover two. Now, right there, if they do give you a match like that, then what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to just simply check the ball down to the running back for easy yardage on this play. So we'll see, show that here. So you'll see here, cornerback gets real big depth. We could just check it down, and now we got blockers underneath of the defense for easy ways to attack. Another thing about this this bench return or bench pivot play is this little whip route is so good at kind of getting in a soft spot on that right side. That's going to force a lot of things from the opponent. It's going to force cover two over there to that right side, which we can then obviously manipulate with other combos. But that is, that's going to force cover two. And then when they do decide to run a cover two coverage, what I like to do from this formation is typically I'm just going to streak and corner, and I'm going to stem the corner down so it looks like that. And what you're going to see here is we're just going to high-low that flat defender, and this corner just really does a good job of being able to out-leverage him to the left side. You also have verticals in this year's game, and this verticals is a good verticals. It has that running back speed in route. What's nice about that running back speed in route is that the running back speed in is going to beat man coverage consistently. So you're going to see here, if they do run man coverage, that running back speed in is one of the most effective ways in this game to be able to attack man coverage. Let's see if we can actually get a little bit better separation here. You see, if you get a nice rat catch, that's going to turn into a 15 to 20 yard gain. The other thing about this play that you can kind of build around is the fact that you have this really unique crosser that just gets a really nice, it's just the best crosser, I think, in the game. And so you have a really good crosser from left to right. You're going to see how it just kind of pops both man and zone coverages. Here's the zone. You see there, it just kind of really takes advantage of that zone. One of the easy ways to build around this play for zone would be to drag. Whoops, I apologize. I totally messed up my setup there. But one of the easy ways to build this play a little bit better for zone coverage would be to drag the tight end, return around the outside receiver, and then you can, run a standard protection. But now you have a 3-level flood all the way across to right to left, which is really, really nice. Another thing you need in bunch, in my opinion, and these are how you can kind of start to come out in some situational plays. Another thing you kind of need in bunch, in my opinion, here is a play, for example, like you can do it at a dig return, but I think flood makes the most sense. But it's just a play with a stock tight and flat. And the reason why this is so important is because this is going to allow you to streak the inside guy, corner the outside guy, stem him down like that. And now you have the ability to really flood that bunch side with these stem down corners, these flats. This tight end flat from flood, it always runs really, really well. The little out route also gets into a nice little spot, especially like let's say you're playing cover 4 hard flat. This flood out route is really, really good this year because it gets into, you'll see, kind of gets into like a soft spot of the zone if it's cover 3, cover 4. And then from a man-to-man perspective, the other thing we forgot to mention is from like a man-to-man perspective, this flat can sometimes just pop man coverage. Like just quick, you see how you get a nice rack catch animation and you're able to, kind of put that in a position to be able to succeed. So anyway, there's that play. If you want to cover 3 beater out of bunch this year, I really like wide trail, kind of a new combo. We're going to curl the solo receiver, streak and drag. So it looks like this. The curl holds the third pretty well this year as we got randomly matched coverage by 49 there. Let me try to show that one more time. We'll actually just we'll do a comeback. You can do the comeback too. Where was I at? Wide trail. And we'll just do a comeback route. And what you'll see here is you have a high-low with that comeback. And if you wait on this, you see how that post can kind of just pop cover 3 in a really unique spot. Now, what a lot of people like to do is they love to run cover 3 or cover 4 hard flat on the left side. And this is where we also have the ability to audible in a bunch and use this play wide curl. The way that I like to run wide curl is simply streaking the tight end and then just snapping the ball quick. What you're going to see here is this seam. It can be user caught kind of in the middle of the zone coverage. So it kind of puts zone in a difficult position. You'll see here, kind of throw it right. Josh Allen just got shedded. Let's see if we can actually show you this route. So you'll see here. I mean, really, and if the flat's going to back up like that, let's just throw the running back. Let's just throw the running back. Let's just make them have to defend the running back. That is one way to get after them. And then if you go wide curl, let's say they go cover 2, they try to play the running back a little bit more. You'll see how you can kind of user catch this late in the play. I think that's one of the best user catch base routes that you can have. The other thing that I didn't get into yet too far is they have this U-trips. And so easy combos out of U-trips. One of my favorite combos for attacking kind of cover 4 hard flat is a corner and a running back streak. And what you'll see is this corner will actually pop that quarter consistently on that left-hand side. Another good combo out of this U-trips formation is going to be tight end whip again. But this time it's going to be kind of a double in variation. And the reason I like this setup is just because it creates a really nice high-low read over the middle of the field. And that post really gets into a nice soft spot against the defense. The other thing about Atlanta playbook is if you come over here, you also have the bunch wide nasty with cheat wheel post that has a cheat wheel to the running back, which is really, really good. And then it also has the ability here. All we have to do is just drag and return route on the right, and we're pretty much set up. And what you're going to see here is that running back cheat motion is really good, but then you have that nice short post that can actually beat man-to-man coverage consistently within this Falcons playbook. So those are some of the best formations. As I said, you also have this trips, which is kind of an underrated formation. And the reason why, you have this little post here, and this guy on the left side, he actually is a solo receiver. So what you're able to do is you could just do something like that on the left-hand side. But take a look at kind of how that short post cuts. It's more like just a sharp cutting route. So it's going to do good against man, it's going to do good against zone, and it's going to give you opportunity to have success. Some of the other money plays, if you will, from bunch is going to be the spacing switch play. What's really cool about this is if they hard flat on the left side, it's not going to stop this flat. You see the hard flat's going to freeze, and I can just abuse that table route and throw that again and again and again on this left side. If it's cover 4, cover 3, it's just a free, easy table route. And then this is where, it gets interesting, because now they're going to say, okay, well, my counter to that is I'm going to man up this table route. Well, now what we're going to do is we're going to drag our tight end, and then we can really do whatever on the right side here. What you're going to see is this tight end drag really gets in a nice soft spot against the cover 4. So you just have some really good ways. Obviously, if they curl flat or anything, that's not going to cover it too well either. As you can see, we're able to still out leverage them to the flat for easy yardage. And again, this play doesn't look like much, but it's actually really, really good. One of my favorite setups from this play is actually to do something like this. The drag is still going to have that same effect. That flat will guard the drag. As you see, he sits on the drag for a minute, and then I can just throw that table route consistently. The other thing about man coverage I forgot to mention is when you run this play, this can beat man because he has a little bit more of a cut to his route. He didn't beat him that well that way, but it does have potential to be able to pop man coverage. Then you go into bunch where you have deep corner. What I like to do with this deep corner is really just a simple speed out, stem it all the way down, and then a tight end streak, a backside drag like this. And what you're going to see is that this short corner gets in a really, really, really soft spot of the defense. Let me actually just show a little bit better there. But you go out route, stem down, streak, backside drag. And then what you're really looking for is that corner gets into a soft spot. I got to get a little better of a bend on that ball. But you see what a lot of this really comes down to is you kind of force them to have to play cover 2 on the bunch side. And then when they do play cover 2 on the bunch side, there's some ways that you can manipulate it with, kind of deeper corner routes and things like that. But really these short corners, as you see right there, I mean, look at that outside corner, just ignore him on that right-hand side consistently. Now, if you do get cover 2, a couple things here real quick. So if you do get cover 2 on the bunch side, this play verticals. Let's just take a look at this little wheel route on the right. You're going to see here that it can be thrown. It's a tight throw. It's a little bit later of a read than it's been. But another thing about verticals that's kind of cool is if you get, let's say, cover 4, you can just quick throw these vertical wheel routes if they're not playing hard flats. And honestly, sometimes they are. So like, let's say, for example, we play verticals, you can motion this guy out because there's no baseline. That slot corner stays super tight. And so it's hard for him to make that play. Like that was a hard flat. It's hard for the hard flat to be able to get out there consistently, against a bunch set. Another really easy way to pop any kind of cover 2 on the bunch side is to use just a deep corner route with a tight end streak or something like that. And then the other play that I was going to go over with you guys is just smash return. The reason why I like this is because this return route is really, really good. And you can do a couple different things. So, for example, like if they're getting me a lot of cover 2, I might go with a play like this. And what you'll see here is if it is cover 2, that corner is going to pop cover 2. It's also going to get in a soft spot against cover 4. So, anyway, it's just one of the better corner routes in the game. And then, you're able to just attack kind of the soft spots here. As you see, there's cover 2. He just runs right over the top. They're going to have to switch stick to that. And then if they switch stick to that, that's where, you're able to start to hit things like this little return route, right? Pulls those yellows back, and then you're able to check it down to your return route. Another play that we didn't really get too far into here, if we come back over to this tight flex, if we go to empty motion mesh rail, all we're going to do is we're going to slot fade this guy on the right. The cool part about this play is, it's basically just a hidden 5-wide formation. I like to stem this corner down, and then I really just leave the drags kind of check down routes. But I like that because in an audible type of sense, it's actually a really good route. And you see here, it can kind of get over top of cover 2. If we didn't get that match on the right side, it would have popped cover 2. Obviously, could have just taken a check down read there. Another thing about cover 2 is if you're getting a lot of it, especially on that bunch side, you go to something like this where, Now we're going to really attack vertically. And then what you get here is this, seam streak, able to pop cover 2 in the seam area of the field. So there's a lot of ways to start to kind of take advantage of cover 2 once they start to consistently call it. It's just a matter of obviously, paying attention to that. The other thing about this tight Y off is you have this motion slot choice play. It has a really nice slot fade route here to the left. Really what I would do is just what I like to do is a tight end drag, a post, and I'm going to stem that post down at least one so it's a little sharper. And you're going to see this is kind of that same idea, just kind of attacking that left sideline within this formation. And then the other thing about this formation is if you go over to the play, let's see what it's actually called here, motion slot choice, or I'm sorry, I called the wrong play. If you go over to the play motion like corner, you see how it has a stock tight end short corner. It also has like a stock little kind of underneath post route that gets in a soft spot of the field. So what I like to do when running this play is I'm going to speed out this kind of backed off guy, stem him down, and then I am going to run a clear out streak or a clear out fade. So it looks kind of like that. And you'll see that this does a good job of kind of flooding that trip side. So you're able to flood the two sides. And then the other thing that you can do here in this formation that I think is actually pretty good, and it's a good audible to have with, some of the other stuff that we're talking about here, is if you go to motion mesh spot, you can just streak the running back. You can flat or speed out, this outside guy like this. And then on the left side now, we have, we're able to just attack vertically in a kind of a variety of different ways. And then you have that little, kind of fade that does a really good job of being able to attack cover 4, especially if you can get that catch like that. So anyways, there's that. And then if you want to run the ball, you have the ability to go down into your pistol bunch tight end. If I can find the formation. The other one that I really like, this is my favorite under center run out of a formation like this, is this single back tight Y flex, utilizing this wide zone run. This wide zone run is really pretty decent in my opinion. And then if you wanted to go to like a pistol bunch tight end, you have the ability to go to that as well within this. So I just feel like the audible around formations got a lot better in this formation than it did last year. The other thing about the bunch tight end is it automatically puts that bunch tight end to the short side, which is really, really good. The other thing that I was going to say about pistol bunch tight end or bunch tight end in general is you need to be going to this bubble, because when you audible to the bubble, it's short side. The slot corner might get stuck on the other side if they're not paying attention. And this is one of the best bubble screens in the entire game. So you have the ability to score pretty much from all areas of the field. One of my favorite things, and again, what I love about this offense, it's just so good because of the fact that it's all in that 11 personnel that you can do all of this stuff. Like you can do all of this kind of stuff from this 11 personnel, which I think is really, really good. You have a quarterback wrap run, which, I mean, that has to be like one of the best short yardage runs in this game. You also have if you go to, where is that actually at? If you go to the pistol bunch tight end here, you have, your speed option. What I like to do, flip it, run it to the bunch side. And, then we're just going to see if we're going to run it with the quarterback or we're going to pitch it to the back. You got that option. And then you also, like I said, I love this this halfback zone run. This halfback zone run is super hard to consistently shoot it. And it's going to be a good run down there in the red zone for you. And then if they're coming out in any kind of more heavier based defense, then you can get into some of your like stretches, which from the pistol bunch, you have this kind of auto motion stretch run, which is kind of a cool run here because they're going to think, oh no, he's running auto motion. Oh no, he returns back. And now we're just running stretch within that as well. As far as red zone combos, what I like, if we're talking about a red zone combo, really probably the best red zone combo from this playbook is either the spacing switch stuff, because maybe they're playing cover 3 hard flat, but what most people are going to do down here in the red zone is they're going to play, some type of either cover 0 or they're going to play, cover 2. And really, I think one of the best routes is going to be this zig as I get yelled at there. This bench pivot play, right? Just this bench pivot play, super simple, but it is really, really good. As you can see, that tight end route just gets into a soft spot, and then the zig off of it. Like these are just really good plays here or there. I just should have thrown that a little bit earlier into the play. Wasn't paying attention, but anyways, this is the Falcons bunch, and this is probably if you just want to run like the basic bunch stuff, the good old fashioned bunch offset, some of the old school bunch plays. That's what Atlanta's for. But it also they added a lot of stuff to this playbook this year that made this better even outside a bunch, and also made this better if you want to audible into some other formations. So I think Falcons is a really, really good book. Again, if you want to learn any of my full offensive or defensive ebooks, it's in our school community, and that link is in the description down below. The Pittsburgh Steelers playbook is one of the best playbooks in all of Madden 26. We're going to be going through this playbook, giving you my audibles, giving you some recommendations as far as personnel audibles. And we're also going to get on the field and break down some route combos within this playbook. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at their under center formations. They have a nice wide zone dive and duo combination out of the single back wing close. And then as far as a passing play that I would recommend from this, I think this double outs play is kind of a cool play. And just in terms of what you can do with your hot routes and things like that. So I'm going to put that in the audibles there. They do have single back deuce close down here with the stretch run, the halfback wham with the auto motion. And then really from there, I think you have to have this play here, bench Z dig with a nice corner route on that left side. And then other plays, really up to you as far as the rest of the plays here. I think that in general, this play PAX post cross has a really unique post route that you can't hot route. You also have this play PA drag wheel with a really cool fade route. Kind of just depends on what you value there. But anyways, we're going to go with that. Doubles off close. I love this formation under center. I think it's a good one. It has jet sweep. It also has a stretch, and then it has a dive. So you have a couple options there. I like to have the zone weak. So really more of an audible into formation, but you do have some good plays within it. And then really you could do whatever you want for the passing play. I think in general, bench corner stop is really just the only option there. And they do have single back tight way off. This is one of the best formations in the game, but they don't have a great version of it. So what I would do is the jet sweep. I would do the cheat halfback dive weak, and then I would do the cheat cross. And then really that last audible slot, kind of up to you. Probably just the PA jet sweep, so you keep that motion consistent within the formation. And then let's go ahead and check out their I-form formations. So their I-form formations, they do have the I-form wing formation, good red zone formation to be able to run the ball out of. You got halfback stretch, you have the fullback dive, you have the halfback power O. So you have three really solid runs down there. If you want to have a fourth one, you can have it. But you also have some decent passing plays out of this formation. I would probably just recommend this play here. PA Scissors has a lot of unique routes. Why off close? This is a really good under center formation because of the cheat motions. You have a couple of really good plays off that. So what I like to do here is the motion PA counter. I have the ISO here. I then have the stretch. And then I have the cheat motion zone weak. So I have kind of a little, way to do a lot of different things down there. Weak eye slot formation here. Nothing too crazy. They do have a halfback lead, but really they don't have anything too wild. I'd probably just leave this blast here and then kind of go with your other plays. Bubble screen, got to be a glitchy play. We just put it in. Whenever you see a bubble screen out of a formation like this, you put that thing in there. Real simple. All right. Strong close. Love strong close. How do you not love strong close? Good formation this year. A lot of things you can do with it. Has a really good play. Wide receiver out. One of the most underrated plays in the game. Wide receiver out. Really, really good play. PA scissors. Could go with that one. You could go with mesh post. You could go with inside post. There's a lot of options here. I think in general, probably just leave PA scissors. Okay. Because you get that deep post on the right side. Now, Steelers does have a split close formation as well. not a super powerful one, but it is split close at the end of the day. So what I like to do with this one is I like to have the halfback wheel play in there. You already have the halfback power O, and then really, as far as the other plays, kind of do whatever you want with that. Wing slot offset, again, a good kind of red zone type formation where you could get this halfback punch or the 0-1 trap. Either way, I do have the RPO bubble in here. And then let's see what else we have in here. I think that's going to do it for that in terms of really what we're looking for. And then really just passing plays, however you want to structure your passing game. I think four verticals is probably the one that makes the most sense in PA post shot just because you can't create those routes. Now, we get into the 11 personnel stuff. You have doubles Y off nasty. This formation is really good this year because of the short corner routes. These short corner routes are extremely valuable. You have the RPO zone read bubble. And then these last two slots, you can kind of do whatever you want. This cross trail has kind of a unique fade on that left-hand side. And then you have the play PA cross if you wanted to keep that. Fork H traffic, another kind of unique play within the formation, but that is the doubles Y off nasty. Moving on to the normal Y off formation. This formation, really nothing that crazy, I would say, that makes a lot of sense. This is kind of what I consider like a running formation. So I like to put like the 45 quick base, the inside zone, and then really just any kind of plays like RPOs is what I'm looking for here. Quarterback run plays, things that I just want to have, but I don't want to have in like my main formations to take up my passing plays. You have a little bit of a cool little speed flat here out of motion for corner. I'll probably throw that in the audibles and then maybe just the RPO. Now, this formation has trips tight end flex, which is a really good trips tight end flex. You have motion Y post, RPO bubble, vertical PA crosses. Really all you need here. If you wanted to put some of the other plays in here, you certainly could do that. But I feel like those are the best bang for your plays out of trips tight end flex. They also have a full trips tight end. So what I like to do with this is I would put in the RPO bubble, and then from there can kind of do a couple different things. I would say I think in general these make the most sense: verticals, PA boot, shot, and then drive post. If you don't like drive post, you can really put anything in that spot: shallow X dig, deep in, any of those plays that you wanted to put in there. I'll probably put deep in just because deep in is a really unique play in trips tight end. Y off trips weak. This formation is actually it's actually really good, and there are some good things in here. One of the main ones you want to have is you want to have this play goal line fork zig. This is a great little red zone play that you can have access to. As far as a run out of this, I would say just the outside zone makes the most sense. And then the other passing plays, I think stick has to get in there just because you have such a really good route to the running back in the play stick. And then really the other one that I would suggest is probably this high-low dig. It has a unique table route. It has a whip route that is really good, and then it has kind of a cool seam streak. So to me, these are the plays that you would want to have within this formation. Now, Pittsburgh is known for their tight doubles. Traditionally, their tight doubles is really good. I would actually probably recommend just basing out of tight doubles and audibling around from there. So we'll come back to those plays. This tight Y off has kind of a mini bunch in it. It has the motion mesh spot, it has the motion slot choice, and the motion Y corner. These three plays are kind of like a Y off trio close a little bit, or not even that, but just like they're kind of like a little mini bunch formation. And then they have a standalone play here that you can use. Really can do a lot of different, whatever play here, but this is going to be kind of a true standalone play. So what I normally do is just put an RPO in this spot, bunch open tight end, really not a formation that makes a whole lot of sense to run at I think a standard thing, but as like an audible, there's some cool stuff that you can do. I really think you have to have the bubble and the wide receiver screen. So these two screens you want to have. I think flood makes a lot of sense. And then that last play there, couple different options in terms of what you could do. I think honestly, dig return makes a lot of sense just because of that inverted deep zig. The motion snag is cool, but I think ultimately dig return's a better play. Bunch open, kind of a similar idea. Nothing too crazy here. I think you have PA slots, flood, inside zone, and then X spot because you have kind of a unique corner. And then let's get into bunch X nasty. So Pittsburgh does have a good bunch X nasty. You have motion cross post, motion RPO zone alert under, motion Y corner under. These three plays, if you have them, they need to be in your audibles, which really leaves kind of that last spot there as far as what you want to do. Drive HB under to me makes the most sense. Kind of similar to Chargers in terms of their bunch X nasty. Bunch spread, again, not a formation I would call a ton, but it does have some good things in it. You have motion slot under, you have an outside zone run, you have motion slot hitch with the post route on the left side, and then really that last slot, a lot of different things could go into that spot. Ultimately, I think this play, corner divide, makes the most sense there. And then one of the other main reasons why you would run Steelers is for these two formations, trips X nasty and cluster. So trips X nasty is kind of a unique formation in this game. It's a very unique formation in this game, and it does have that quick fork zig play if you wanted to have that as far as like a red zone play. But ultimately, I think a couple things. Number one, this verticals X shallow play has to be in your audibles, and then really from there, there's a little bit of versatility. This wide receiver smash play has a short corner on that right side. And I'm actually going to come back to this formation. I wanted to first get you the cluster audibles because I mesh outside zone, verticals, and then mesh posts. It's pretty straightforward. Now, the one thing I will say is if you don't want to run the ball, which I don't really want to run the ball necessarily, I would definitely say Z spot and shake is a really good play because it gives you a short corner on both sides. And in this year's game, it's really valuable. So I would probably put Z spot shake in here and really just never run the ball at a cluster. This specific cluster doesn't have the best run. The outside zone's okay, but it's not like the best run in the entire game. So going back to triple X nasty, I actually totally missed a couple of things that you actually have in this, in that you do have a lot of short corners in this once you stem them down. So for example, this play, motion slot stick and nod, you got to have this play in your playbook. This play is money. I would put that probably in this slot right here. If I can find the play, motion, I must have passed it, motion slot stick and nod. You see there you have a short corner on the solo wide receiver side, and then you can kind of build around that. Verticals that shallow to me still makes a lot of sense, but the other play that you could put in here is that high-low dig, kind of similar to what we're doing out of that other formation. And honestly, up to you. A couple different ways you could go, but I do think it's really good because you have that inverted or that deep zig route. So I'm going to put that in the audibles. And then I probably take a run out, honestly. I probably don't run the ball to this. And then the play that I would probably put in that other slot is this, either the quick fork zig if you wanted a good red zone play, or this kind of slot fade H wheel. What this has in it is it has that same route, but it also has kind of a cool wheel route to the backside receiver. So anyway, those are a couple of plays. The high-low cross has a cool short corner and a cross running back route, but in general, these are what I would recommend. Now, if we go over here to the 4 wide receiver trips, I don't think we actually can auto to that. The spread, I really never go spread on any really. Empty Steeler, if you want to run a little 5 wide stuff, there is some stuff out of this. Really I think the best 5 wide is really the flex, or not the tray, but the empty tray. I think that's the best 5 wide. This one is not an empty tray, but there are some things. Like you got 4 verticals here. You have a quarterback run play. You also have this play. Where does that play at that I was showing you? Corner, just called corner. Really good play with a short corner to the tight end. And then really from there, see if there's any other crazy good play. Empty stick and nod probably makes the most sense because you get a return round out of it. But anyway, that is my Steelers playbook. I forgot to talk about tight doubles. So tight doubles, I think tight doubles is really, really good in this game right now. And so I do want to go over some things out of this. First and foremost, one of the reasons you run Steelers is for this play right here, shot fade cross. It's a really unique route that you can't really create. So I would put that in the audibles. The other play that I like out of this Steelers, you have a base, which is a good run. And then you also have, if I can find the play, cross wheels. These are kind of really standard good audibles. For PA, for the last audible here, I would probably suggest any short corner play to the right. So like Z spot, motion cross, HB sneak also makes a lot of sense here. But I think just in general, in terms of audibling, right, having good audibles kind of makes most sense here. So let's go with the play. Where is that play at? Just looking at it. Z spot. Okay. So now we're gonna come out in either tight curl or the either tight curl or motion cross HB sneak. Motion cross HB sneak I really like because it has a short post on the left side or the left side receiver. And as far as how we want to come out, what I would recommend is coming out with your running back to the wide side of the field. So you see here, because what we're going to be able to do is when we audible to some of our other plays here, with the exception of trips, but when we audible to like bunch, you see this is gonna be good. Okay, so again, the main reason you run this is for tight doubles. So what are some good tight doubles combos? Some good tight doubles combos are we're going to stem this left side receiver all the way down. We're going to streak this guy on that side. Really just leave it like that. And you're going to see here you have a high-low read to the left side. And you're going to be able to have a lot of success with that route combo. Another one that you're going to have is your Z-spot play. And you're just going to stem that tight end all the way down. Actually, I think I'm going to take Z-spot out because there's no reason to have a tight end short corner. But you see here, just your high-low reads are really, really good. The other thing about this play that I forgot to say is if you do run this to the wide side of the field, you're going to have a little bit more success just in terms of out leveraging that corner. But there you see it. Really nice route combos in that. The other thing is, let me go grab that motion. I'm actually going to, okay, so now we got motion cross halfback sneak here, and we're going to be coming out in this play, and then we're going to put that other play tight curl, put that in the odds, and so it kind of looks like this. Now the other thing is I wish we had a sharp corner on the right outside receiver. That would really help. But anyways, motion cross halfback sneak. So why is this play good? A couple things. Number one, we're going to corner the tight end, slot fade this outside guy, drag the running back like this, and it's going to be a 5 out. And essentially, this is a great way to 5 out. You're going to see here that corner, because we run this corner to the wide side, he is going to have a ton of room to get open. Also, if you want to leave this running back route, he'll just kind of cross the field into a really, really good spot. See if we can actually throw our tight end. Our post kind of went a little wild there. But anyway, the other thing you could do with tight doubles that I actually think makes a lot of sense is motioning out players situationally. So like right here, once we put our hot routes on the field, we can motion this post out. You'll just get a little bit better spacing from all of this. The tight end is running his route extraordinarily deep. Another way that I like to run this play is like this right here. I think this is a great combo because when you stem this corner down, the outside quarter is really not going to defend it. Now the curl flat zone might, as you see right there, like he kind of defended it a little crazy. But in general, I think this could be a pretty good. Let me just actually wait on the route. If it's not there, you can check it down. But anyway, you have that. That's a great play. It's also really good against man. The thing about tight doubles and why a lot of people like tight doubles is tight doubles is really, really good against man coverage because it's going to create natural picks and rubs, and it has a lot of good routes that, as you see there, I mean, look at that drag just completely fry over the middle. It's really just more of a tight doubles thing than anything else, honestly. So another setup that is really, really good is this shot fade cross. What this is going to do is, let's say they run a cover 2 on that short side. What we're going to do here is we're just going to streak the slot receiver, drag the tight end, and then you can either leave the running back blocked or put him on a streak. That's up to you. But what you're going to see is against cover two, that shot fade route is going to be a really good route for you to be able to attack cover two consistently. Again, you also have cross wheels where you can kind of do a very similar thing. We're just going to streak the slot receiver, snap the ball, and you're going to see that you're just going to have this high low between your tight end and your crosser. So let's say, for example, they're running, cover four or cover three, and they're running like hard flats and stuff. This is really good because you're going to see that this crosser is going to kind of get into a spot that's very difficult to defend. So you have that as well in this offense. You also have the ability to call tight wheels. And all you have to do here, you could just literally snap the ball. But what I like to do is just streak this left side or do a streak and drag like that. And now you kind of have a little underneath meshing play that's really good. These drags are hard to guard in this year's game, so I highly recommend like throwing more drags. It is really that good. Shot fake cross also has that kind of short corner route that is really good, and then this slot cross route which beats man really well. So if they do run man coverage, really not a whole lot to talk about other than just show the crossing routes. You see there that crossing route just fries man to man, and so yeah, you're going to be able to get pretty consistent yardage against man coverage. Now the next couple plays that I wanted to go over. I really do like this tight curl play for a lot of different reasons. I think one of the easiest setups is the stem down corner. The stem down corner on the left side will normally beat, like, let's say there's a lot of people like to run cover two. So like if they run a cover two on the short side, this short corner, you're going to see he's just going to get wide open to the flat there. For an easy gain. You also have the ability, let's say like if they're hard flatting, that this could be something as well. Whoops, I apologize. I'm actually in the wrong play. You notice this motion is not the best. Definitely not the best at all. So anyway, let's show hard flat coverage here. So if they hard flat on that left side, then what you'll see here is this backside drag gets wide open underneath the yellows. That's why I love this play, because I think it's real easy to run. Another cool setup to me out of tight curl is to do this, drag the tight end and return route on the backside. Because of the running back table route, it allows you to throw this return route kind of in a soft spot right there. That time the yellow zone actually played his butt off. But in general, you have that right there. So anyways, so those are some of the better plays, I think, out of tight double. So it's obviously a lot more you can do, but this is, kind of just the tip of the iceberg, if you will. I really do like this stem down corner, and you could even run a backside like that, for example. With the wheel route, you're really going to get a good clear out. The curl flat is actually playing this wild. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of shocked at the curl flat here. Now I have to just get this thing open against the curl flat, because see here, if we wait on it a little bit more, there you see open against curl flat. So most of the time people aren't going to curl flat. Most of the time people are hard flatting every single time. But if they do curl flat, there are some other ways to attack that, to attack that defense. One of those is to audible around. So what's really nice about Pittsburgh is it has a lot of really good audibles. So one of the audibles that I think is really, really good is to audible to the gun cluster and call mesh. Why? Because it's a quick audible. You're going to stem this guy down. You can snap the ball just like this, and you're ready to go. Like, it's just ready to go. But what's nice is these little mesh routes are going to get wide open. And I will say one of the things that you want to do is you do want to have fast receivers. So part of the reason Hopkins is having so much trouble is because he's actually ridiculously slow. So I'm actually going to put Hopkins in the slot receiver position and put my fast guys on the outside. You're going to notice a massive difference in terms of how well they're going to run these routes. It is really always all about speed, in my opinion. Where was that play at? That short post play. There we go. Okay. So when we audible around here, we're going to audible now to our bunch X nasty. And one of my favorite plays out of this is to streak this guy, stem this guy down. This is such a good play. And this is really good against zone as well. Really, really good against hard flat coverages. But you'll see that guy gets into a real soft spot of the defense right there. Another good setup of this play out of Bunch X Nasty. Let me actually get over to it here. Is motion corner under. Really good play against man coverage. So if they do want to run man coverage, what you can do is you can run a drag. You're going to stem that corner all the way down, and then you can run a streak here. What happens is you have like a return route that's motion, so he's not going to get pressed. So he will do a really good job of beating man coverage over the middle. And then you also have, your corner route, which is traditionally one of the better ways to beat man coverage as well. Now, you do have this trips X nasty motion slot sticking out. What's nice about this is a short corner on the solo side. And then your tight end route, it can't be stemmed, but it is a decent route. And then with running back, kind of do whatever here. But what's nice is this little corner route. It's just such a good route in this year's game. You kind of need to have it, in my opinion. And the more short corners you can have, to me, the better. Motion Y corner out of this Y, whatever this formation is. It's this tight Y off. What I like to do is just that right there. Or the other way you can run this play is through using a zig. Shout out to flipping. But basically you could go flat like that right there. I would probably flip one more time here. So what I would probably do is block the running back, and then I would have a drag, a zig, and then a speed out, stem that speed out all the way down. Really good play for cover 4. Really, really good play for cover 4 of those. The yellow zones are just really easy to manipulate in this year's game, and you should be manipulating them as much as you can. Okay. The other thing about Bunch X Nasty is you have drive up and under. Why is this play good? Because you have a short corner. So you can run a combo like this right here. And this is really, really good because you have that short corner. And you see, the other thing about that short corner is when the nickel corner is on the other side of the field. This is why, like Trips X Nasty, for example, this is why this formation I think is so powerful, partially. Because when you have, like, if you watch that slot corner, so like, right there, the slot corner doesn't follow, but he should. And so what happens is if they are in an actual, you see, it should look like this. So because of the positioning of the linebacker, when you put this stem corner, they'll just never get over there, right? You just out leverage them to the sideline consistently. Okay. Another play that is really good out of this Trips X Nasty is wide receiver smash. You're going to see here that this R1 route is actually a short corner when you stem him all the way down. He's kind of a little odd, but it is a true short corner. So what you can do is you can motion this receiver across the field, and you see how it pulls that slot corner in for a step, and now you can out leverage that slot corner or have, whatever you want to do on the back end of the play. So you can kind of build around that a little bit as well. You do have the gun cluster mesh post. What's nice about this play is all you have to do to run it is just really streak the solo wide receiver and return route this outside guy right here. If they're not playing a lot of hard flats, this table route is really, really good. And then you can, kind of air truck up the field or just truck in general and get yourself some easy yardage. Motion mesh spot is a great cover 2 beater. All you're going to do is streak the solo wide receiver. Whoops, I always mess that up. Streak the solo wide receiver right here like this. On the right side, you could really do whatever you want to do. A lot of different ways you could run that on that side. But against cover 2, what you see is that seam streak clears out the deep half, and then the wheel is going to be just consistently open. One of the best ways, in my opinion, to beat man coverage is to call mesh post. I don't think it needs to be more complicated than that. This mesh post play against man coverage, it's what it's designed to beat in real life, and it's what it beats in Madden. You're going to see here consistently that this post is going to get open over the middle. And you also have, what I actually like to do with mesh posts, because of clusters alignment, is the one hot route that makes a little bit of sense here is to take this slot corner, and you can do one of two things.
You could either just put him on a basic flat or put him on a corner and stem him all the way down. And what you'll see here is against mesh post, now you have a high-low on both sides, and that corner can get, pretty decent separation, especially if they're shading him to the middle of the field. So anyways, those are some of my favorite plays on that hash. Now, if I'm on this left hash right here, I can still run my entire offense. And if I do want to flip it, I can, but you also have the capability now for this corner route, to be a little bit better against that curl flat. Although what's crazy is this specific curl flat is actually unbelievably effective, apparently. The other thing you could do with this corner, really underrated this year, is motion this corner out to the wide side. Now that curl flat can never get out. Of course, I say that, and of course he does. If he runs the corner route fast, then the curl flat will never get there. They literally have to hard flat their outside player. So they have to hard flat their outside corner, which is going to put them in a tough spot. But you see, like if he runs it right, it's an easy automatic 5 yards. So anyways, another thing that you have with cross wheels is kind of that same idea. So you could run something like this. What's nice about it is watch this snap throw wheel. And of course, we're going to get this curl flat is really crazy. Maybe the Commanders are just like the best zone team in the game. I don't know. But what typically happens is this throw is something you can hit against that. But for whatever reason, we're struggling. Anyway, what are the other plays and other formations you like in this? Okay, so I really like this trip side and flex. Motion Y post, absolute money play. All you got to do is stem this guy down and slant the inside guy, and this thing, everything is going to be open for you. The slant is the main route, in my opinion, that you don't want to miss, because the slant opens every single thing else up in this formation is opened up by the slant. So you do not want to miss the slant route. It is just such an important route. And then if you don't miss the slant route, then they have to go use the slant route, which then opens up the little return route over the middle of the field. And so now they have to, put their hooks on 5, get a little bit more aggressive, which then opens up the middle of the field for this tight end. Now the tight end route, if you're patient with it, it's probably the most powerful route in the game, because that tight end route is probably my favorite man-beating route in the game. And the reason why, and to go to trips, you're going to go to the left side here. But the reason why I think that is such a good man-beating route is because it just consistently, no matter really what they do, of course I say that, you just consistently get inside leverage. If they do press you, I will say sometimes cover 2 man just goes crazy and the route doesn't run like it's supposed to. But we'll actually just press this man coverage up, and hopefully you'll see what I'm talking about. So you see how you get that? See how you got that inside win like that? Like I feel like that happens a lot. And even against cover 2 man, even against, route committing and whatnot, you're still going to have a lot of success there. One of the plays that we didn't talk about attacking kind of this right side is this play motion smash. The way that I like to run this out of the doubles is just stem this guy all the way down, streak the tight end, and then what you'll see here is kind of that same idea. See how you just eventually, man, I'll tell you what, these corners are kind of, or these Commanders are kind of balling. But basically the short corner should out leverage him to the sideline. What I would honestly do here is, maybe have like whatever you want to do on the back end. But really what we're looking for whatever reason, we're just not running this route great today for the Ravens. Maybe the Ravens receivers, I don't know what specifically makes the route run like crazy good versus, because I feel like sometimes it runs extremely fast, and then like that time right there, he didn't really run it fast at all. If they don't run it fast, you can't really throw it against curl flats, but if they do run it fast, you can. But you can consistently throw it against curl flats or hard flats and cloud flats. Really, the only thing that gives them a shot is a curl flat adjustment. So anyway, there's just a lot in Steelers, man. There's so many good plays. This Singleback doubles close. If you ever want to audible down, I feel like it's a pretty quick audible, and you do have a good run in the stretch, and you can take advantage
of that as well. The other thing I was going to say, I'm telling you right now, do not sleep on this short post. This short post is a very powerful route this year. You got to have a short post. A real easy way to run this play is to streak and slot fade, and then because you have this little running back route, I'm telling you, this running back route is just such a versatile route, and you'll see here this spaces out really, really well, and you have a high-low read between your post and your drag. As far as other audibles, just wanted to check this, see if we had that. We do not. Okay. Gun cluster, you do have Z-spot shake, which we didn't really cover that. So, again, if they're flipping with you in their nickel set, now you have a good chance to out leverage them on this left side with that short corner route that you can hit consistently. And then the other thing that you have in this cluster formation is you do have the play verticals. So verticals is verticals wherever you go. But this verticals is really a good one. And all you have to do is just take the running back, put him on an in route, and you're pretty much good to go. And this play verticals can just break down coverages in a lot of different ways. You're able to get a high-low in the middle of the field, but you're also able to get a nice crosser. Another one of my favorite plays out of this is this motion choice. You're going to drag your tight end. You're going to post your slot receiver and stem him down, or just put him on a crosser. I like to post him, though, and stem him down. And then I would block my running back here. And what now you have is just out of a bunch formation, you just have this kind of natural high-low to the left to right, which is really good in this game. I'm going to show you the red zone money play of the red zone money plays, what a lot of people like to do. And again, the main coverage you're going to face down here in the red zone is going to be cover 2. So the main couple plays that you're going to see, number one is if you're on this hash right here, you're going to go to that quick goal line fork zig play. And really with this play, the way that I like to run it is honestly pretty stock. But what you're really just looking for is this little kind of delay route, goes right in the middle right there. As you can see, super high level red zone play. That little route is extremely valuable. Out of that trips X nasty, you do have this high-low dig. You're going to out route this outside guy right here. And then in the middle, you're going to drag or slant him. And then you put a backside in. So it's basically a bench pivot setup. But this is really, really good, especially in the red zone, because vert hooks are terrible in this year's game. And you see, you can just throw right at them consistently with that deep zig route. That deep zig route really opens up a lot of stuff down here in the red zone. Now, what if I'm in the middle of the field or on this hash? What I like to do, and obviously you can flip if you need to, but what I like to do in these situations is go to motion wide post, in route, slant route, flat route. That's it. You're done. This right here is a powerful play down here, and that in route is really the main route you want. You don't want to ever miss the slant or the in. That play right there, like you never want to miss this read. Like this read right here is so important to hit. This right there, that throw, you don't ever want to miss that read. So I honestly, to a degree, make that my first read. And then the other route that we don't want to ever miss is the slant. Now, if they have the yellow zone there, that means that the in route will be bagged. But your slant right there, or if you be patient, you can throw this tight end in a lot of windows on the back side of the play as well. So, I never want to miss my slant. I never want to miss my in route. I feel like those routes, you need to hit those. The in route here, you can kind of squeeze that in on that yellow, depending on, depending a little bit on like how specifically they shade. That's actually crazy. Little something, we might have found something here. But anyway, you see there's that slant, possession catch, kind of gets that in a soft spot. And then where was I at? I was looking at the trips. Another way you could run this play is if you wanted to, you could run this play
taking advantage of this cheat motion. That would mean something like that. What that does is that you'll see here, it'll pull this flat defender back, and then it allows you to throw this running back right underneath it. So if they're running a lot of stock cover 2, then it'll pull that route back, which then if they run hard flatted cover 2, you're going to have a little bit better of a time hitting this tight end kind of late in the back of the end zone or tutty. So anyway, a lot of good red zone in this playbook, which is another reason what makes it like a really, really good playbook in this game is there's some absolute money plays for the red zone. One of my favorites, one of my absolute favorite plays is to run bunch to the short side like this. And then you're just going to run this motion RPO. And what you're looking for is you're looking for this flat route right there. And a lot of times you actually end up breaking that tackle. So I'm trying to think if there's any other ones that are crazy, crazy good. Trips tight end, really just standard trips tight end stuff, man. You don't necessarily, I mean, nothing crazy, super crazy to go over. Doubles Y off nasty. This RPO zone read is really cool. It's not going to probably work here. Yeah, played it pretty good there. It depends a little bit on how they're covering it. But you do have that, and that is a read bubble, which is, you know, obviously really, really good. Let's see here. What other things for the red zone? I showed you the high-low dig play. We didn't talk a lot about this slot fade. So this slot fade, what's nice about it is it's that same type of route. So if you flat here and maybe like a post here, you know, you're going to see that this little pocket opens up for that little route right there. So anyways, guys, that is the Pittsburgh Steelers playbook. If you enjoyed the breakdown, you're going to love our school community. It's $10 if you want to sign up. The link is in the description to get you access to all of our ebooks, offensive and defensive ebooks for Madden and for college football. So if you want to sign up, the link is down below. The New Orleans Saints offensive playbook is one of the best playbooks in all of Madden 26. And in this video, we're going to be breaking down every little bit of it, giving you a full set of audibles that you can utilize, as well as going through some of the best formations and giving you some play breakdowns that will help you run this offense. Now, we're going to start in the wing tight nasty. This is, I think, one of the better under center runs for the red zone, and that is just a halfback stretch from this formation. Really, really good. You have halfback inside zone. You have kind of some unique routes here within the passing plays. So that's a nice little formation you can use in the red zone. You also have this formation that has halfback stretch, halfback dive, tight end attack, and 26 duo. If you want to run the ball, this is a really, really good little formation. I personally love Singleback wing slot, especially if it has these audibles right here where you're able to get that stretch, dive, and duo runs. I really am a big believer in these 3 runs this year. I think they are some of the better runs in the game. Really, you can do whatever you want as far as a passing play goes. I personally probably am just going to run a basic play action cross shot because it's going to give me the ability to have, you know, good pass protection as well as a good crossing route. Singleback tight Y off is one of the best under center formations out of what we call a 11 personnel, which is the predominant formation you're going to be in within this playbook. However, this specific one is honestly pretty poor. It doesn't have some of the best plays that you want. You do have halfback zone weak. You do have a jet sweep, but in general, you don't have the wide zone. You don't have the 0-1 trap. So I don't love that from the Saints playbook. Moving up to the I-form pro, I-form close, these formations aren't going to get called a ton, but there are actually some really good plays in here. For example, PA Scissors, good combo, just a basic plays that are really good. You have Z-spot with a decent post, short corner, and a little flat route. You have Texas with a tight end post. See if there's any other power routes in this playbook. I don't think there is. Yeah, not really. This mesh has a corner, but that's kind of the stock tight end corner anyway. So if it was me, I'd probably just have the stretch in here, and this wouldn't be a major formation that I would run. However, the I-form while close does have an auto motion in it that does make it really good. This motion flood with an auto motion streak is a helpful run play. Then you also do have a basic stretch. And then the other plays in here, pretty average, I would say. Not like a crazy power formation, but is kind of a cool little formation just because the auto motions. I'd probably have an auto motion run off of that, and then probably just a basic dive. So, anyways, those are I forms. Strong wing. This is a good formation for down in the red zone. They have a couple really good runs. They have a halfback stretch. They have a fullback dive, and then they have a motion power and a play action off of that. So those are some decent plays that you can have in this formation. They do have some decent pistol stuff. The pistol U off stack has the stretch and the halfback zone. Halfback zone from pistol formations is typically one of the better ways to run that run. It also has double post with really good short posts out of 2 receivers. A lot you could do with that play in terms of building around it. And then the other audible here is probably going to be this P boot just because you get that stock fade on that left-hand side. And then this one right here is a really good formation, pistol wing flex close. I like to have the zone weak, the wide zone, and then the auto motion motion slot comeback. This auto motion play is a really good red zone play that you can kind of build around. And then if you wanted anything else in here, I would probably say maybe just motion dig and goes, just because it gives you some things you can kind of build around. Deuce close, not a formation I'm going to run a ton, but you do have it in the playbooks. Might as well have some audibles. Halfback stretch, counter Y. Counter runs from pistol are traditionally pretty good. And then I would probably just go mesh spot just because you can build around that stock fade. Y trips, again, this is an 11 personnel, so this is a good way to have some runs to audible down into if you're running a 11 personnel based offense. Pin, pull, sweep, super good play. I'd probably just put the runs in here. I think these 3 runs are really good. And then really kind of whatever you want to do from a passing perspective. I think ultimately motion corner strike makes a lot of sense just because it has some unique things that you can do with the play. And now we are into our shotgun formations. So shotgun formation number 1 is going to be actually this heavy saint. This is a fun formation. It's not exactly a formation that you can realistically set audibles for, but it does have 3 powerful plays: QB blast, QB power, and then a mesh sit. I recommend you can, at the bottom here, the packages, you could put your quarterback in here if you wanted to. If you just go to the basic formation that puts your quarterback in here, you could also put your tight end in here. You could also put your gadget player in here. So I think it's kind of a fun formation that you can kind of do some cool things around. Shotgun deuce close, couple things here. I think this motion wide receiver corner is a play you want to have because it has that short corner, really good for attacking a variety of different coverages that you're going to be facing in this game. The run play is, it's okay. I wouldn't say, maybe just the read option, honestly. Actually, no, the RPO peak stick is probably the best option here. Passing, the other cool part is bench dig curl gives you another short corner left side. So this is actually a really good deuce close. And then you have this U off stack. U off stack is a really, really good red zone formation. There's a lot of things that you can do from this, starting with this auto motion play. If I can find it in here, it is this motion PA switch flood. So it's already in the audibles for you. This is a really, really powerful play. I like to have the motion punch, the motion under, the motion switch flood, and then you can really do whatever with that other one. Motion PA crossers, because you get kind of a speed flat route, can make some sense there. I think in general, just either the outside zone or the RPO alert out, either one of those make a lot of sense. Now, wing slot offset. This formation has the same personnel and a couple different things that we can do from this formation. First and foremost, you have inside zone, and then you also have that halfback punch play. I would probably put the RPO bubble there instead of the inside zone because it is an inside zone run, but now you have a bubble attached to it. And then the double motion plays, they're okay. Really, I think the only one that makes sense is the toss. I mean, yeah, they're okay. I'm not going to put them on. I'm just going to put some basic pass plays in here as well if I ever wanted to pass out of this formation.
So now we're kind of getting into the bread and butter of the offense, the bread and butter of this doubles flex while close. This is a great formation. This is a powerful formation in this game. It's a formation that you want to be utilizing and probably basing out of as kind of a base offense. Now, what this has is, as far as audibles go, you want to have PA snag, motion angle while wheel, and then you want to have flood. Those are like non-negotiable. These three plays right here pretty much have to be in your playbook. If you're audibly into this formation, if that's your plan, then I would put the flood H post in there. If you're not audibly into this, I would probably just put any kind of run that you feel comfortable with. I think overall, probably the best run is going to be this just simple RPO zone peak glance, because it has a bubble, it has a post, which you can hot route to other stuff. Now, doubles off close weak. This is a new form, or a couple new plays in this formation this year that are actually pretty noteworthy. First and foremost, your run needs to be the RPO read bubble. Your pass motion mesh rail. This is a great play and a play that you can build a lot of your offense around. So you want to have that in your arsenal. The next play that we're taking a look at is probably going to be the auto motion flat, just because it gives you another kind of variation of that motion. So I like that. And it has kind of a unique in route on the back end of the play. Other than that, as far as like plays in this formation, I would say really a couple different ones, but ultimately I think this PAY cross is really good just because it has kind of a unique crosser and it has a post sit from the slot receiver. If you didn't want to have this as an audible, pivoted seems to me makes a lot of sense just because it has unique streaks and it has a stock return route, which are better than the hot routed ones. Normal Y off, this is a formation. Whenever you have a formation like this that you're not going to do a lot of passing around, I like to have run plays in these kind of formations. So one of the ones that I will set is this just 45 quick base, the inside zone, and then really I think it makes a lot of sense here to have this one play. Where is it at? Double dig. This play is good because you have a short corner, RPO peak slant. You can kind of go with that. The other play that you could do is just a basic read option or a counter read. I probably just put the read counter just because it's kind of a unique run. Now you also have in this formation, this playbook, bunch X nasty, and this bunch X nasty is not like amazing, but it is a good formation that you can kind of build around. And there are some cool things that you can do from this formation this year. So one of the ones that you want to have in your play is you want to have this play, just basic smash return for these guys. And then the other one that you want to have is dig return. So kind of some unique stock, old school bunch style plays that are really, really good against what a lot of people are going to want to be doing. And then you also have this play, if I can find it, double outs. This has kind of a unique zig. So you see how we're kind of playing a little bit of small ball with this bunch offense, which also makes a lot of sense of the fact that the last play that I want to have is either this RPO zone alert if you want to pass the ball, or run the ball, or I would put the motion speed dig under because it has a really good crossing route over the middle of the field. Bunch spread, this is a formation that's just a nice to have formation. There's not a ton of powerful things about it as of right now, but there are some cool things that you can do, and it does have some unique routes. So, for example, one of the ones that I would like to have is this short post motion out of motion slot hitch, the short corner out of motion slot under, and then this also has an outside zone, which are really good shotgun runs. For the last audible, a couple different ways you could go about it. I would say in general, corner divide is a pretty good play just because it has a unique post route and it has a return route. So you can kind of build some combos around that. Now, one of the main reasons why you run Saints playbook is for this Y off trips nasty. This is a great, great, great formation in this game. You have the RPO read flat, you have the inside zone, and if you wanted to get real crazy, you also have a counter run. But you have two really good runs. You have P double post, and then you have dagger whip. These are kind of the standard Y off trips nasty plays. As far as other plays from this, there are some other good plays, but none that I think make the cut for the audibles. Y off trio close, great formation in this year's game. You got to have motion mesh rail. You got to have flood. You could have PA cross switch. I really personally, for the runs here, you have a lot of really good runs in this formation, in this playbook. Honestly, I think the 0-1 trap makes a lot of sense, just because it's just a really good run, hard to shoot it. The other play that you want to have it here, though, if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it here. Where is it at? The boomerang mesh rail is kind of a cool play, but you also have PA power shallow cross. I love this play because it has a short post on the right side, and you can kind of build around it within the play. And then I think that's it for this formation. You could have smash return if you don't want flood. Smash return will just give you a little bit. What's nice about flood is it's like very quick hikeable, right? Tight Y off. This is the hidden tight Y off. This hidden tight Y off from last year. Really good formation. The motion Y corner. You're going to have motion slot choice, and you're going to have motion mesh spot. Now, those three are non-negotiable, and then the other one is really up to you in terms of whatever you want to put in this, because it is to a degree a standalone play. So I think it makes a lot of sense just to have a run play out of that style. That's pretty much it for this type of base flex. Can't really be ran that well right now. Tray open, their tray open does have some cool stuff. You do have an auto motion in this tray open, so I like this play H motion shallow cross. You also have some decent runs here. This RPO alert stick is a cool run. And then the passing plays, they have this Y drag that has kind of that unique streak. This Jet New Orleans has a really good crossing route, but there's not a whole lot of crazy things. I mean, the short corner from Y corner probably makes makes the most sense there. And then let's see if there's any other thing. I would probably just put stick, honestly, for that good table route. I'd probably have that in the playbook. So the other thing they do have is trips tight and flex. How can you not love that they have trips tight and flex? Motion Y post, RPO Omaha, bubble, and the verticals play. That's pretty much all you need. They actually have an outside zone from this, which is probably pretty good. But I'm going to go with that RPO. Stack Y flex, as if we needed more. They do have a stack Y flex, which there's some things you can do out of this. Like you have a base, you have quick base, you have these kind of unique routes out of this formation. So definitely some things that you can build around within this. Y sail with that table route. Fade out is a must-have play. That play is really powerful. It's really good in the red zone. Salem pivot with a return route and a deep zig route, really nice. And then I don't know that there's any other one that's like yelling at me right now. Y sail, we got kind of a deeper dig or zig. Curl combo, corner strike. Yeah, I think that's going to be about where we want to be at there. The spread, if you want to run spread. Empty, if you want to run empty. Empty triple stack, kind of a crazy formation. But anyway, let's go ahead and get on the field and break some of these plays down. I'm normally going to come out in the play flood H post every single play. So you see here, I have flood H post on the field. What makes this play so good is the fact that you have a short corner route to this outside right receiver. So all you're going to do is you're just going to stem this all the way down, streak, and then drag, so it looks like this. And you're looking for this short corner route. If that's not open, you have a high-low over the middle of the field that you can work really, really well. The other thing about this short corner is I can't decide if it's better to the wide side or the short side, because you'll see here on the short side, I feel like it's almost better to the short side, but I don't know. As of right now, we're still kind of learning the game. But anyway, this short corner, when it runs fast like that, it's really hard to stop. It doesn't always run fast like that. But you know what I wanted to do? I actually wanted to try this out. I'm going to put Jamar Chase in that position just to see, because I bet you he will run that route. I bet you he will run that route fast every single time as we're kind of working through some of these combos. But I do think, that flood H post, if you could get that route to run fast every single time, it's really, really hard to guard. Sometimes, like I said, it runs slow. But Jay Chase actually ran it super slow there too. So maybe you don't want route running, because you see when he runs it slow, the curl flat defender can get out there a little bit better. So, and it could just be like honestly random. No, he's running it slow consistently. So that might be a route running thing, which is honestly unfortunate because you would think that that would actually make the route better. That time he ran it fast. All right, so there you go, a little live lab in here. But now moving on to some of the other plays in the playbook. Motion mesh route. I love this play because a lot of people are going to run cover two on that right side. You can audible to this, and all you're going to do is just simply streak Jamar Chase, and then you're pretty much good. And what you'll see here is that this auto motion route to the running back, which let me actually re-explain that. This auto motion route to the running back is really good. The only thing is if they have a soft squat there, but if you're on the short side, you'll see here, streak J Chase, and then on the left side, you kind of do whatever. But let's take a look at this against like a cover four. You'll see that that running back gets in a soft spot for a potential back shoulder fade. And then let me actually show it against cover two. It's better against cover two on the short side this year. And we'll just see, as you see right there, when it's on the short side, the deep half defender isn't as effective at slowing it down. Really, the best way to beat cover two is honestly to the short side. All right, I got to test this corner one more time, see if Jay Chase just cooks. He does. So there's short side. The other thing about this corner route that we didn't talk about is hard flats are not going to stop it. So you see how the hard flat kind of freezes, and then that's wide open. So the only thing they can realistically do is play cover two and hard flat. And so because of that, that's going to kind of make, that's going to give them all kinds of issues. Like, yes, that does stop it, but now your post's going to layer over the top of that in that second level. So anyway, really good route. You also have motion angle wheel. What's nice about this one is this backside player can honestly just put him on a drag like that. I think that spaces out pretty well. But watch this short corner. See how he's going to get a lot of space, a lot of leverage on that slot corner in a really good spot. Another good play out of this formation is PA snag. Combo something like this. Really, really good. You're going to have that drag. That post kind of gets into a soft spot. The Raiders are just out here to play today. But this is actually a really cool streak because he's going to really clear out well and make it hard to switch stick this route consistently. So you have that route within the playbook. Another route that I feel like you kind of need to throw, honestly, if you're running this offense, you could kind of get to it a couple different ways. But the way that I like to do it is essentially it's going to be like a comeback route with a drag underneath it. The reason I feel like you need to be throwing this is because if you don't throw that route consistently, you honestly could throw just a standard out route. I feel like, let's take a look at the standard out route. It's not terrible it's actually not bad against zone. However, against man, let's just take a look. I think this out route could actually be a thing here. I'm going to get it to 15 yards, get it real deep here. And he does kind of win, but it's super slow. So anyways, I just feel like the one thing that makes this offense not as good as last year is you can't get a speed out here. Unfortunately, like that would make such a big difference. It really would in this offense. But anyways, this formation is super, super good. A couple other plays out of this real quick. So Y sail is a good play. Normally when I run Y sail to the wide side like this is really, really good because this fade is going to clear everything out and that corner runs super deep down the field and you're going to be able to get it into a lot of good positions. The other reason why this is really good is for cover two, right? Because we talked about cover two. So a couple things with this. So if you run the traditional cover two beater with the double streaks, you're going to see that the cover two actually cages that combo this year. However, what you can also do, what you can also do with this though, is just leave this deep corner, and against cover two, you're going to see he's going to run super far back, and that cloud will drop down. This is also a little better, specifically against cover two, to the wide side because it's going to give the corner a little bit more space to work. So see here now, when we run this is never ever going to get played by a cover two. Okay. So that's another good play within the offense. You also have, which we need to get into some of the other stuff here. You just have a lot in this playbook. You have trips tight end flex, motion wide post, money play from last year, great this year. All you got to do is call hike. You just call hike, man. You have a cheap motion. Yeah, it's going to clear out space, and you have this kind of natural high low over the middle of the field. That high low just spaces out really, really, really well. The other thing about that is because we're motioning from the short side or the wide side to the short side against cover two, you're going to have a decent chance of hitting cover two over the top. It just depends a little bit on this deep half. You'll see here, the deep half does a good job of getting out wide, but the way that you can just kind of mess that up is if you go to trips tight end, flex, and you streak the tight end. And then what I would probably do is have like a backside post. I think that makes the most sense. And then I actually would drag the slot. So it looks like this. And what you'll see is against cover two, if you are getting cover two to the tight end side, which a lot of people will do, your cheat motion route becomes pretty lethal on that side. The other thing that you can do that's really just a great, if someone's running a lot of cover two on you and they're kind of relying on the mid read because the mid read is a lot better this year, just go to trips tight end flex verticals. You don't even have to put your running back around. You can just block him. But what you're going to see is against that cover two, the mid read will really get manipulated by the crosser. The deep halves will get split, and this will be a one play touchdown against cover two. So, anyways, another thing that I really like trips tight end flex, especially if they run man coverage, just because I feel like this play is so hard to stop in man, because this tight end just gets wide open. You have a fast table route. And then if you put a slant there, like look how sharp that tight end post cuts. It's just super good against man. But anyway, that's a little bit on the trips tight end. The other formation I wanted to cover, if we go back over on this hash, is the trips nasty. So dagger whip, great little play here. What I like to do is streak the slot receiver, come back the outside receiver, drag, and block. So it looks like this. This is really, really good if they go cover three, because you're going to see that this tight end is going to kind of get in a soft spot against cover three and potentially be a big hitter for you on that side. And then if you're wrong, like let's say it's like cover four hard flat, there's just a lot of pockets to be able to throw. So if it is cover four hard flat, then you're able to hit, number one, you could hit your comeback late in the play. Number two, you're going to be able to hit this seam streak right in the middle of the field over there on that right-hand side. The other reason why this is a really fun formation is it has a short post on the slot receiver. So what I like to do here is just streak the solo receiver, drag the tight end, and then a couple different ways that you can kind of go about it. One of them is to streak the running back. I don't love how this spaces out. I prefer the wheel with an out route on this right-hand side. And what you'll see here is if the user stays in the middle of the field, you can throw this running back pretty confidently at the numbers right in that little pocket. And then if the user runs over to the right side to guard the running back, then you're going to be able to have a high-low read progression on this backside. Make sure you're resetting your pass protection to base consistently. Look at that pressure. Shout out to the Raiders. Shout out to the three defensive tackles on the Raiders just shutting me away. But anyways, that's a really good play from the playbook. You also have this wild trio close, which is a great formation with motion mesh rail. Just streak this guy. You're going to drag this guy over here, and then you post and then put the running back on a streak. Why is this good? It's good because you're going to see that you get really nice clear out streaks, especially against cover four. That outside fade gets into a really good spot on the field. And then the other thing that you have out of this wild trio close that I think is really cool is this play flood. You don't have to do anything. Just stem the corner down is what I would do and just snap the ball. And a lot of times that zig is going to be wide open. From a running perspective, this playbook is really good because you have the RPO read flat, which this, especially if you're audibling to it, it's going to out leverage a lot of defenses regardless of their coach adjustments. So you're going to be able to have that to attack over on that side. And then you also, let's say that they're kind of overcommitting to the play, which normally is going to mean a hard flat. That's where this dagger whip becomes super valuable. And you can run a setup like this, kind of like a bench pivot. And you're going to see that that deep in route or that deep zig is going to get wide open. I don't know what I was in there because the out route was actually wide open first. But anyway, let me just show that one more time. So let's say, they flip with you and then they have a hard flat. You'll see with this little zig gets into a really soft spot of the defense that you can use to attack the coverages. So anyways, that's a little bit of why trail close. Don't need to spend a ton of time on that. I've talked a lot about bunch X nasty. Don't need to talk about that too much. The only other thing I was going to show you, a couple other things. One of them is this tight Y off, which is kind of a fun formation. Motion Y corner. Literally, what I would do is take this outside receiver and I would put him on a flat route, and then I would put this guy on a streak and block the running back. And you're just going to see that this tight end gets in a soft spot right in that little alleyway right there. Really easy to hit him consistently against a cover 4. And then if we come back over here to that same formation, you have this play motion slot choice with a stock slot fade. What I would do is just a basic drag of the tight end, a post, and a stem down all the way like that. And then you're pretty much good to go. And you have kind of a high-low read here that can attack a lot of different defenses. The other play that you have is this motion mesh spot. A couple different ways to run this play, but one of the ones that I think is best is just a streak on this left side guy. And then honestly, you could kind of just leave this. If you wanted to, you could put the running back on just a basic flat, or you could put the running back on a streak. And then if you did put the running back on a streak, I would put a stem corner on this guy, something like that. So anyways, what you're looking for here is this auto motion is going to kind of run into a really interesting position on the field. Got shedded again. Dude, shout out to the Raiders defensive line. Like they are just here to ball today. Oops, I totally messed up the play. One thing about this formation is the buttons do kind of switch. So anyway, I like this version. I actually think this version is pretty cool. Just a basic flat here on the left side. You have kind of this, really unique route that you can throw against a lot of coverages. Really, the main coverage that does a really good job against is actually going to be cover 2, and I'll show you it against cover 2 real quick. So if they are running a lot of cover 2, then this is going to be a really good play. And again, on the backside, really you can do whatever you want with those other guys. But what's nice is this will pop a cover 2 coverage. So you have that route as well. And then we wanted to talk just a little bit about Trey Open. What's nice about Trey Open is it has this auto motion this year. And it's kind of a unique Trey Open because this guy kind of nubs up. Anyways, what I would do with this play is first and foremost, it spaces out really well if you run it like this. And you'll see here that this guy comes across. And it's kind of very similar to all the other auto motions, but it's really good spacing. And that post comes across. Like it's hard to switch stick Trey Open because the post route is going to come open like right like in a spot in a window that is very difficult to switch stick. So you'll see here cover 4. Again, you want to be audible into this. It'll make the motion run a little faster. And you'll see right there, you see how it kind of gets into that nice soft spot of the zone. And then the other thing about Trey Open that I think is really, really good is it has this Y corner play with a short corner on the tight end. What I would do is a streak. And then what you're going to notice is you'll see how that slot corner moves inside like that. That really helps this play get open. Maybe if he actually ran. He did not run his route very well. But anyway, you do have a short corner there. And then, I mean, really the main play is this motion shallow cross. The RPO is cool because you can actually hot route all these players, which I think is kind of cool. And then I can throw like little pop passes like that. So you have that within the. I mean, you should have a lot in this playbook. You really do. You have a ton of options. The only thing I wish this playbook had a little better under center runs from this type of personnel grouping. They don't have the best ones, but you do have a lot of stuff. You have trips. We didn't even go over stack wide flex. What's cool about stack wide flex is on fade out, if they hard flat on this left side, this little snap throw right here is really good. It's really good in the red zone too. And then you can really do whatever you want on the back end of this. Now, just for the sake of our time, I wanted to show you kind of how I like to run this offense down in the red zone and show you just some of the stuff. If you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure you join our school community. It's only $10. It gets you access to everything offensive, defensive ebooks that I have. You can sign up at the link in the description below. So this U off stack, this formation is really, really good for a lot of reasons, but really the main one is this auto motion to the tight end. So what I like to do with this is I like to put my running back on really anything but that route he's on. So, you know, in this case, we'll put him on a streak, for example. And then on the left side, what I like to actually do is put this outside guy on a flat. So you'll see there, I put him on a flat, and I'm going to put Chase on a curl. Now, it looks a little weird, but what this is going to do is this auto motion is going to oftentimes, you know, be one-on-one in the back of the end zone. If you want to get big and high point it, you can high point it. It is kind of a good high point route. But then the other thing is, if they are in man coverage, you see how he'll space for this drag, and the drag just gets into a really nice pocket on the field. The other way that you could run this play is with a whip route. What I would do on the right side now is I would probably just do a basic, something like that. But really right here, we're looking for this little whip. You could throw that whip right in that little pocket. Really nice route for the red zone. So you have that. You also have an RPO out of this. And what's nice about this is this little screen, quick throw, and you're in the end zone. So this just has a lot of cool stuff out of that. I do like this double under just because it gives another look of the motion. You have a fast table route here. What I like to do is flat the outside guy, shocker, right? I'm going to slant the inside guy, and then with the tight end on the right, I'm going to put him on a cross. So it looks like this. And you're going to see this is basically trips tight end in terms of how the routes kind of work together. Need a little bit more from the O-line there. But again, motion double under, just flat, slant, crosser. You leave the table route. And if we get time in the pocket, this little route gets right in that little pocket right there. So I like that. I think that's a pretty good play. And then motion switch PA, or we talked about that play. The motion HB punch brings him across, gets you a +1 blocker, snaps it quick, and this is one of the better runs in the game. The other thing about this is you can audible into other stuff. So remember I talked about deuce close being a really good deuce close. So what I like to do with this deuce close is, stem this corner all the way down like that, wheel the running back, streak the tight end. On the left side, really can do whatever you want. I think something as simple as that, or just blocking a tight end makes a lot of sense. But watch that short corner in the red zone, gets really in a soft spot, and you're able to attack the defense with that. You have the single back wing, all the under center stretch runs and all of that stuff if you wanted to. You also have this pistol wing close. So that's another reason why I think Saints is so good, though, by the way. Their red zone is really, 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 really good. So what I would run this is I would probably have a stemmed corner and a whip. Watch this running back route just shuffle out to the flat, really clear the space, and then you can kind of attack with your zigs on either side. So anyways, this is just a good all-around playbook that has a great red zone, which is really what puts it, I think, in the clear-cut top 5 playbooks in this game just because of the red zone alone, because you need to be able to score down here, and it has all the good formations to dodge away with the field, but also has some of the best red zone in the entire game. All things considered, I think that the New York Jets offensive playbook is one of the best playbooks in Madden 26. And in this video, we're going to be breaking it down for you. Now, as we go through this playbook, I'm also going to be showing you some of my favorite audibles to set, some of my favorite plays. We will be breaking down plays as well against specific coverages and defenses in this video. So make sure that you stay tuned to the end if you want to learn more about the New York Jets offensive playbook. Now, the New York Jets offensive playbook comes equipped with some of the best shotgun formations, but also has some decent under center formations as well. One of the things you want to look for in under center is you want to look for these wide zone runs and these duo runs. These duo runs are super helpful. If you can get a wide zone, a dive, and a duo, I think that is the kind of top tier or top level trio of the run plays in this game. Really, that passing play can kind of do whatever. I actually kind of like the halfback zone toss, so I might leave that in there. But I think in general, double outs makes a lot of sense. Now we're going to go over to the single back wing. Again, we're just primarily looking for any kind of red zone stuff. Don't see too much crazy stuff out of this formation, but they do have a deuce close. What's cool about the deuce close this year is they added in a lot of these like auto motion runs to tight ends, which I think is really good. Auto motion duo is really good. And then having the 0-1 trap, I think is a super, super helpful run play to have within the formation. And then you have some other stuff as well, like a counter run, or if you want to do pass the ball out of this formation. I really like the PA motion spider leak because you have kind of a speed motion out of that flat route that you can kind of build around. Now, what's really cool is they have tight Y off flex and bunch X nasty. These two under center formations are super helpful for running the ball in 11 personnel sets, which is the predominant personnel grouping that you're going to be passing the ball out of. So you could be in a bunch offense, but then you could audible down to this formation and have some really, really good run plays. Their tight way off does have the wide zone, which to me is the most important run to have in the under center. And then they have the 0-1 trap. So you have an outside run and an inside run. You have under Z curl, one of the best plays in the game, in my opinion. It has a glitchy seam streak to the right. It has a short corner to the left. And then really this last audible slot is probably kind of up to you, whatever you want to do. I think it makes the most sense to just have another run play because, again, this is predominantly a running formation, and we'll put the halfback zone weak within that play. Now, they also have the bunch X nasty, single back bunch X nasty. This play right here, motion X whip, is a play that you need to get in your playbook. This right here has a sharp corner, and you're going to see a theme developing within this offense, but it has a sharp corner to the left. Those are probably the best route in Madden 26, and any play that has that needs to be in your audibles like immediately upon seeing that. The run here, not as powerful as the tight wide flex, but they do have the wide zone run, which is just a great under center run. We'll kind of look around for some other plays within this, maybe some passing plays. You'll see here that we do have this PAX out cross. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one in the audibles because it has kind of some cool routes out there on the left side. And then really the next one is, like I said, kind of up to you. I kind of think it makes a little bit of sense to use the jet sweep or the counter run. And I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger on this jet sweep just because it's kind of a unique way to attack the defense. So that is the bunch X nasty. I formations, they do have the I form wing with the halfback stretch, the halfback lead, which is a good run, but then they also have this halfback power G. These are 3 power runs down here, super good running plays. And then if you wanted to, you could have an auto motion power, an auto motion, this auto motion zone run is kind of like a duo run. So I think that does have some usage, but I just go with PA scissors. I think it's a versatile passing play. Y off close. What's nice about the Y off close is they have this PA counterplay with a cheat motion wheel to the tight end, and then you can kind of build off that because they also have an auto motion that is actually a zone run. So you see here we'll have that in the audibles, and then that is it. And then I like stretch and then just a basic ISO run within that formation. The next formation in the Jets playbook is the strong close. Now, this is a really good strong close. They have some of my favorite plays, wide receiver out, the PA deep cross with the skinny post and the deep cross. They have mesh post, which is just a beautiful play every single year. They have a dive, they have a counter off tackle and an in around. So they actually have a fullback dive out of this. This is such a cool formation. So we're going to have that fullback dive be kind of our quick hitting run up the middle. and then I'm going to have the stretch be our kind of base run that we can run off tackle, or the off tackle run, wide receiver out, and then really that last pass. Actually, I'm going to make sure that this is the stretch. The stretch is slightly better than the off tackle because of the way the fullback blocks, but this wide receiver out or angle out, either one, they're basically the exact same play. What I like about angle out, I'm actually going to put angle out in here just because it has the running back blocking stock, so you can get some better quick snap plays out of that. And then let's see here. The only other one that I think makes sense to put in here is if you want to run the ball more, you can put a run in here. But really, the play that I think makes the most sense is probably wide trail or PA scissors. PA scissors is nice because it still has that deep, skinny post, and it's off of a play action. Wide trail is nice because it has this crazy fade on the left side. FL drive has a post from left to right if you wanted to kind of build around the skinny post aspects. But I'm going to go with wide trail in that slot. And then we have pistol. So pistol wing close. This formation, okay, it does have a lot of good runs. So a stretch, halfback slam, and then you also want to have this halfback zone. And then I would just go with tight end attack just because you don't get these kind of tight end post routes a lot anymore. You could also justify Z spot because Z spot actually has a short post on the receiver himself. So really kind of up to you. But I do like tight end attack probably the most there. And then doubles Y off. This is 11 personnel pistol. Don't really do a whole lot with this formation. Kind of a glitchy one. But I'll set some audibles here. So we'll do this pin and pull sweep. We'll do the read option, if I can find it. We'll do the RPO read flat wheel. And then really that last play is kind of whatever you want in this slot. I'd probably just suggest a basic passing play. Let me see if I can just find... I don't really love any of these. I'll probably just go PA deep end because we have cool, good streak routes. Now, when you get up into the shotgun stuff, they actually have a lot of good stuff in their shotgun. You're going to see here that they have the shotgun ace slot formation. This is a formation that you don't see a lot in Madden anymore. They actually took it out in a lot of different ways. So, and they actually have a really good one. So my favorite version of this is you've got to have X spot. X spot is such a good play. It has a short corner on the slot receiver. It has a short post on the tight end again, which you can't really get anymore. So this is one of the most powerful automatically before you even do anything. It's one of the most powerful plays in all of Madden 26 just because of the routes that they have on the field. Now the run play is honestly, it's kind of a decision. There's a lot of different ways you could go. You could go base, you could go power. I think the bubble is the most versatile run. So that's what I'm going to do. And then what I would honestly probably suggest is at least having this quarterback power just in case they give you a look for it. I think that makes the most sense here. And then this PA read play, you could go with PA read. You could also go with post. The problem with post is the routes aren't as good as they used to be from that one. Smash is cool because you have a cool seam streak, but the thing with PA read is you have just some of those routes that you kind of need to build around, I would say. So I would probably go PA read. The only other thing I can think of is maybe smash. You could justify post, but post just doesn't seem to me because it's just a quick snap play. I would rather just go PA read, have play action blocking. I could build around within that play. Now, you also have split close in this formation or in this playbook. So with split close, they actually have a pretty good one. I like the fullback inside, the halfback power O combination, or the triple option. So I personally think it makes more sense to put the triple option there than the power O because that gives you just more ways to attack the defense. As far as passing goes, you could do these auto motions. This auto motion halfback swing is actually really good. I really like mesh. I think that has to be in your playbook because, again, has that short corner on that right side. And then really from there, a little bit up to you in terms of what you want to do. I think in general, this is where you could put a gimmicky play, but I also like halfback wheel just because it's a very easy play and it's been a good play for a long time. So that's what I'm going to go with there. This motion split offset, this is where you kind of get a little gimmicky with the shotgun run scheme, which is actually great. Like it really adds a feature to the offense. So what are the runs that I like out of this? you got to have the fullback, or not the fullback, the halfback off tackle. I really like this motion triple option as well. And then what I would probably say is this motion RPO swing quarterback draw, kind of a cool play. And then other than that, really, honestly, I like this halfback cross buck. Like I would pretty much just like to run the ball out of this. You could justify like a motion Y cross or a motion spot, any of these plays. I probably am going to ultimately just land with this motion right Y cross. Wing slot. Again, there's just so many good plays. Like this formation, this really does have a great playbook. Quarterback power, RPO bubble, the halfback punch with it's like a 0-1 trap run, and then you could put whatever passing play that you want, or just put a basic inside zone. That is also something you could do. Wing slot weak with the RPO alert bubble is really good, but I wanted to get into kind of my main formation for this, which are these two right here, the doubles Y off nasty and the doubles flex Y off close. So what's nice about doubles Y off nasty is they have this play, if I could find it, they have an RPO read bubble. They also have this play, well, I think I must have just passed it there. See if we can actually find the play. It totally just here it is, motion smash. The reason this play is good is because you have two short corners. You got to have that in your playbook, in my opinion. And then let's see if they have anything else in here. Motion 4 gauge traffic is kind of a cool play, but I think cross trail makes a little bit more sense just because it has that fade on the left side, which is just great for clearing the zone. And then we'd probably go PAY cross. If you wanted another running play, you could have really all these runs are actually really good. So you could do that as well. Doubles Y flex off close. I think this is the best doubles flex Y off close in the game, and this is going to be our main formation we're going to be covering. So what routes make this formation good? In my opinion, really the best play, you got to have PA snag, you got to have motion angle wheel, and then you got to have Y sail. Like those are kind of the non-negotiable plays that you have to have in these formations. But what makes it so good is you could come out in a lot of different things from this playbook. You could come out in this play, if I could find it, flood H post. This play is a great base play, has the running back blocking, so it's going to have base protection in it. Like, I think that is just a really good base play to kind of build around. You do have some auto motion stuff that is kind of cool within this formation. Motion, dig, under, motion. These three plays right here, beautiful plays, a lot you can do with them. As far as the run play from this, I think the best way to run the ball from this formation is actually, if we look at the audibles here, just a basic inside zone. You could run an RPO with a bubble. The thing about the RPO is you can hot route that post route, and it does give you a kind of a cool route. So I totally get it. Or the read option. So you kind of have some versatility with that, whatever run you want to choose. But that is that formation. And then trips tied in. This trips tied in offset is not it's not as good as trips tied in flex, but it is good because it has just powerful plays. It has the two main plays there. It does have the RPO alert bubble, which you kind of want to have that. And then really the only other thing that I would say is probably you want to have the speed option. And this is a great little just simple red zone scheme that you can use to be able to score down in the red zone. So I like trip set and offset for that. They have this bunch X nasty, and this bunch X nasty is super good primarily because of this play right here, motion corner under. This is a very important play, and you want to have this in your audibles. So motion corner under. The next one is the motion cross post, motion RPO zone alert. These three plays are so important from a bunch X nasty this year. Now, if we go to the other, and then the last play that I would say is kind of like a automatic audibles, like it automatically gets into your audibles, in my opinion. It could go a couple different ways here, but I think the one that just makes the most sense is this play right here. Motion, where's it at? Motion HB choice. This play, motion HB choice, has a unique seam streak to the to the right that you can kind of build around within this offense. So that is a good bunch X nasty. In fact, you could even base out a bunch X nasty if you wanted to within this playbook. Now you even have bunch tight end for good measure, and this bunch tight end is not bad at all. You have an RPO alert bubble, which is just, you got to have that play. Triple out, I like this play because it has a really unique corner route to the left side, and then really, again, you kind of make some decisions. I think Boomerang PA Will is a very good play because it has a short post on the left side. And then the only other thing I was going to show you, a couple different plays you could go with, honestly. You could go with any of these plays, but I ultimately think it does make the most sense to go with the PA. Actually, you know what? I actually think it makes the most sense to go with the, where's that play at? The tight end corner play, just because it's got a lot of routes you can build around. Which I think makes it really good. So it has that deep corner to the tight end. You kind of need that in that formation. The other formation that is really underrated in the Jets playbook is their tight open. I think their tight open is really good. As you see, they have a lot of short corners and short posts. This play motion spot wide post, absolute money play. You need this in your playbook. The other passing play that I think you need in your playbook if you're going to run this offense is you need, where was that play? I think I might have passed it. This play spot X option has a short corner on both sides and a fast table route. A lot you can do with that. And then really, I don't even think you need to be running the ball out of tight open. It just has so many good passing plays. So you can, if you want to, just have a basic inside zone in case they give you a look for the run. And then verticals HB burst, to me, verticals HB burst or this tight seams. What's nice about the tight seams play is it has the fades on both sides of the formation, which I do think is really, really good because you can't hot route that. The other thing that I like is I also like this drive stutter because if you look at the left side here, the short corner on the left side is always from the slot receiver. So I would rather just be able to get this on the outside receiver by using this play right here. So again, this is just such a good playbook for short posts and short corners, which I think are the most important routes in the game. It still has the cheap motion stuff, which is also very important. But anyway, that is tight wide or tight open. That's pretty much it. I don't really use any of these other plays. They do have a quarterback zone from their shotgun. So you can kind of use that if you wanted to use that down there in the red zone to do some cool stuff with it. But really, that's kind of it for me in terms of this. This empty ace is actually kind of cool too. Has a QB zone, touch pass, all those things of power. It's kind of almost like a wildcat formation. Like I would have the fake jet pass power. I'd have the QB zone. I would have the actual jet QB counter like that. And then I would probably have whatever passing play I want. I think stick makes the most sense because it has a short post on the left, or on the right. Anyway, so that is kind of how I like to set this playbook up. Now I want to show you some of the best plays. So some of the best plays for this playbook, again, I talked about it. Flood H post. This play is a money play of money plays because you have a short post and you have a short corner. So what I like to do at this play is I like to stem this corner on the right all the way down. I like to streak my tight end, and then I like to drag this outside receiver like this. And what you're going to see here is a lot of times this short corner can still get you separation against man coverage. If you know that it's 2-man under, I think these short corners are a little better if you actually let them run their route against 2-man under. So if you know that it is 2-man under, you'll see here, got the backside drag there, able to hopefully make a catch. And then this post route is really the main read for 2-man under. You'll see he gets a kind of a sharp cut. All right, Josh Allen showing off his cannon here. Let me show you some other stuff we can do against man. So some other stuff we can do against man coverage is motion angle wheel. This is a great play for man. Just streak the running back, drag this receiver like this. You'll see that this slot receiver should do a pretty good job. There's my drag. Okay, we haven't even completed a pass yet because 2-man under practice mode is crazy. So let me actually just get you at least a completion. What am I doing here on the right? Okay. So what you can also do from like flood posts is a drag. Like this setup right here is really good for flood post against man because the tight end drag, as you see, he gets underneath the garbage and he's able to attack that right side. Another play, another way that I like to run this play is just using a table route to the running back for zone purposes. And you'll see that when you use that table route, you'll see here it kind of pops the man coverage. For some reason, our short post is not short posting. But anyways, another thing you can do against man coverage is you can run, let me see, where was that play at? Y sail. What's nice about Y sail is it has this tight end on this corner. So you're going to stem this corner all the way down, and then you're going to drag the slot receiver so it looks like this. And what you'll see is the stem down corner normally will get leverage to that outside because he's not able to be pressed. And so that's another route that you can use to consistently attack two-man under. If you motion the running back out, you're going to see here that it does take this slot corner and pull him inside. So what I like to do is a simple out route to the running back, a streak, and then I actually like to use the hot routed corner so it looks like this. Against two-man under, a lot of times that hot routed corner, you see how it gets more outside leverage, and you're able to attack, kind of man coverage that way. So there's plenty of ways to beat man coverage. Another one of the best ways, in my opinion, is this play PA snag. Now what we're going to do is we're going to streak, we're going to drag, and then we're going to flat the running back. So it looks kind of wonky, but this is really good against man because there's just so many crossing routes. So you're able to hit your drag, you're normally able to hit your slant, you're normally able to hit your post, and they all kind of hit at different depths. So that's another little thing about this formation that I think is really good. See here, there's the slant, and you see that slant pops man to the left side. So plenty of ways to beat man coverage within this. Another thing that you can do here out of PA snag, there's just so many route combos you can run out of PA snag. But one of the best ones is a tight end short corner like that, kind of really flood out that right side. And this is also good against zone. The reason I like to use a slot fade is because it'll get you a little bit better separation against zone, and then that tight end corner does a really good job of potentially beating man coverage. Again, sometimes it's a little weird. Sometimes man coverage in practice mode is a little crazy. But anyway, now the other thing about this is when you audible to bunch, what's really nice is you'll see here, when I audible to bunch, I'm pretty much set up exactly how I want to be set up in bunch. Now this play drive under is really good because of the short corner. And then what I like to do is just basically have, something like this on the other side of it. And if we can snap the ball, you will see here. Wow, two-man under is just crazy. It's crazy in practice. It's crazy in practice mode. Actually crazy. One of the other things you can do against two-man under is motion cross post. Send this guy down like that. And then I find that this crossing route to the R1, because of the auto motion, you see how it messes up the man coverage alignment. And then if they're in cover 0, this is a tutty over the top, or at least a big play. So anyways, let me show you one other thing with two-man under here with motion cross post. So what's also nice is when you go to bunch tight end, it puts you in a short side bunch tight end. So you just kind of want to know that. But the thing about it is this short post has a lot of usage. Let's see a little boomerang play action here. But you see there's that short post, getting that tight window, but he is open against man to man. So I'm not going to spend too much more time in man because ultimately, like if you beat man a couple times, eventually they get out of it, right? So what I like to do is show this a little bit more against zone and how powerful this is. So this route to Shakir is like literally the best route in the game because they can't guard it in zone. Look at that. That was a cover 4 hard flat, not able to get out there. I'm just going to run through some coverages here. So that's cover 4 hard flat. This is cover 4 curl flat. This is actually slightly better than the Chargers corner strike play. Just in terms of where he's at on the field, he just gets a better position to be able to attack the coverage. He's a little bit more in tight, so he really gets that outside leverage. There, the cover 3, that was cover 3. Honestly, I don't know exactly why, but sometimes they do run this route just a little off. And when they do that, you'll see that the defender can get out there. But normally, we're able to clear that. Now, cover 3, I guess, consistently. Just shout out to curl flats this year. They did make curl flats a little bit better. But one of the things you can do against this is you can do this setup where you put your running back on a wheel. Watch this wheel route just kind of clear out that curl flat defender. And you see how I can kind of throw that in that little window. So I'm able to throw this against cover 4, cover 3 normally. The other thing that you can do is you could also just let him run his route normally. And if you wanted to, you could put your running back on. I don't know what I just did with the running back, but anyway, we can just put this running back here. And now what you'll see is against your basic curl flat, he gets over the top of it if you let him run his route normally. So anyway, that's that's how I like to run that play. And then the other thing is you have Y sail. So what's nice about Y sail is, let's say they do run that cover 3 coverage with a curl flat. The curl flat defender really gets messed up in Y sail because that corner is so deep. As you see, it just kills the coverage over there. So that's one of my favorite plays. One of the things people like to do against this type of formation is you're going to get a lot of cover 2. The way I like to attack cover 2 to the wide side of the field is with PA snag. And what I do is I streak. I'm going to put a corner route and I'm going to stem him down at least once, maybe twice. And then what I'm going to do on the left side here is I'm just going to run, kind of a basic little play like that. But what we're really looking for is the stem corner against cover 2 or the backside post on the right side. Show that one more time. Actually, let me show that from Y sail. It actually makes more sense to do this from Y sail now that I think about it. But what you'll see here, watch the fade kind of attack. See how the deep half gets pulled by the fade, and then that gives that corner enough room to be able to get over the top on that side. Another thing I like to do, as I said, a lot of people like to attack cover 2. It's going to be a really quick audible and a really quick setup, and I'm going to audible to motion cross post, streak, flat, and then stem the tight end down. And what this will do is if they are in a cover 2, you're going to see here that the cheat motion is going to be able to do a really good job of attacking any kind of cover 2 on that left-hand side. So that is a great feature. Now, formation we really haven't talked a lot about this year yet is the tight open. I love this formation because of this play right here. You can really do whatever you want on the left side. So if you wanted to, you could just do this on the left side. But what's really nice about it is this thing just pops zone coverage with these short corners. Like, these short corners just really do a good job of being able to manipulate zone. That was the other thing I was going to show you out of motion quarter under. You kind of get that same type of deal here on the left side. It's even better because, especially if they're running like a nickel defense and they don't have 2 slot corners, this makes this really messes up double mug. If you think about the way double mug is ran, a lot of times they kind of let that solo guy, be one-on-one. And this against like a nickel set, you'll just see, there's just no chance of stopping this play consistently out of a nickel set. You don't have to put the running back on that route. But like this, and what you're going to see is, look, he just never plays it. Like, it's just never going to be there. And then the other thing about this that's kind of interesting this year is if it is a cloud flat, let's say, for example, that they do decide to cloud flat over here on the left side, you're going to notice that, generally speaking, you can still throw this right outside of a cloud flat. That was a cloud flat. He stuck it inside. The route's just powerful. You need to have that route in your playbook, in my opinion. The other play that I like on the left side here, let's say I'm over in this area. What I would probably do, let me see if I can actually go grab a different play out of doubles. If I ever wanted to attack kind of the left side, what I would do is use this play motion HB out, just primarily because of the fade route on the right side. You do have a decent crosser from this formation out of the play motion HB fade. And you also have motion slot post, which is probably a little better. But anyway, motion slot post. So what you're going to do is you're just going to streak this slot receiver. You're going to drag your tight end. You're going to streak your running back. And then I like to post this outside guy, but I like to stem that post down once so it's a little quicker. And what you're going to see here is you kind of just create a nice high-low read on the left side that can attack zone coverage that way as well. The other thing about tight open that I think is just really cool is it has a short post. So let's play motion slot post, has a short corner and a short post. So what I like to do from this play is kind of build around that. So I'll put the running back on the backside on a streak. I'll put this outside guy on a flat like that. And then I'll typically run like a, you can run this a lot of different ways. I think what makes the most sense is a zig and a streak of some type like this, or a streak and a zig of some type like that, right? The reason why I like this is because you kind of space out really, really well here. And I'm really primarily looking for the post on that side. I got crazy sheds from the Detroit Lions there, but show it one more time here. So again, motion spot post. And then if you wanted to, you could also, like, let's say you wanted another variation of this play, definitely could run like something like that, have a little better pass protection. But you'll see, look at that post kind of get into a soft spot that is very, very difficult to defend. So that's why I like that. There's a lot more that I can say about this playbook. This playbook is full. This playbook is fully equipped to do a lot of different things. You do have triple out. So let's say you're getting a lot of cover two. Triple out is really good. You're just going to stem this corner all the way down. You're going to streak this guy. And I just like it like that. But basically, you're going to see that stem down corner gets in a nice soft spot against cover two consistently within the formation. And then the other thing you have is from bunch tight end, you have tight end corner, which has this corner route on the tight end. Now, this one, what I would do is if you ever wanted to actually call bunch tight end or trips tight end and kind of run a little bit more of an offense, I would just come out with your tight end to the short side here, and then I would audible into those couple of plays. What's nice about this tight end corner is you can stem these routes. So like the tight end corner, I can stem, all the routes here on the left side, and then I could run two streaks. I can set that up pretty quickly. And if they're playing hard flats or cover three hard flat, cover four hard flat, that tight end corner gets in a really soft spot against either one of those zones. The other thing about it is, let's say I'm getting cover two. The other thing about this from bunch tight end is, let's say I'm getting a lot of cover two here. I can stem it down, not quite all the way, and you'll see here that I actually have a chance of this tight end kind of clearing that flat defender and beating the deep half to the outside there. So it's just a nice route. It really does attack well. We didn't get too much into this doubles Y off, but this is a good formation as well. Why? Because we have a short corner. This short corner is even tighter to the line of scrimmage. So let's say again we're over in this hash, or we're flipped, right? We just have the doubles to the field, or the tight end to the field here. See how he's a little shorter? So guess what? He's going to get a better chance of being able to break down the zone coverage, in my opinion. So I love these short corner routes this year. Another thing you could do, it's kind of a funny thing to me, but you can, within like a tight open set, you could take this corner route. I just think this play is really good. Like, even if it's this right here, I think that's a really good play. And you see that short corner just gets into a nice spot. So anyways, that is the tight open. Didn't get too much into the trip side in, but I did want to show you what you can do with trips. Is down here in the red zone area, you can go to a trips run. You get the RPO bubble, which is really, really a good run. You always want to look at that bubble screen to see if you can hit it. If you can hit it, the blocking on the bubbles this year are really, really good. Then the other thing that you can do is you can try to go with a speed option where you're going to read that D end and, kind of make a read. Here I made the wrong read. But anyway, you have the speed option that you can run if you wanted to. The other thing that you could do down here is just kind of freestyle plays, good old-fashioned trips, great red zone formation every year, and basically just do something like this out of PA crossers. And you'll see here that in route is oftentimes the money route on the play. So that is the Jets offensive playbook breakdown. Hope you enjoyed it. I do think that this is a top 5 playbook in Madden 26 right now. If you want to learn any more of my full offensive or defensive ebooks, everything is going to be available in our school community. $10 gets you access to all my offensive and defensive ebooks for both Madden and for college football. One of the best playbooks in Madden 26 is the Jacksonville Jaguars playbook. And in this video, we're going to be taking a look at how to run it and what makes it such a good offense. What makes this playbook such a good offense is it has a full plethora of 3x1 or 11 personnel offensive kind of money plays or just money formations in general. We're going to start with this tight wide off flex as it's one of the best ones in the game. And as you can see here, it has a wide zone. It has a 0-1 trap. These are two really good runs that complement one another well. You have a short corner, which short corners are probably the best route in this game. And then you also have a jet sweep if you wanted to run that. You also have a halfback zone weak as well as a counter. So kind of whatever you want to run down in that formation. You also have Bunch X Nasty, kind of an underrated and really a formation that is going to largely probably fall under the radar in this game, but it does have some really, really good routes. For example, this Motion X Whip play, it has a short corner, it has a return route, and a stock table route. Really, really good route. I like to have the halfback dive. Verticals is just a money play. And then PA cross, one of the best one-play touchdown formula plays in Madden 26. So you just have some really, really good under center within this formation. Another thing you have here is you actually have a single back tight way off, which is kind of a unique formation to have as well, with a jet sweep, a halfback dive, and then, really these passing plays, I'd probably go with the PA jet leak, and then probably go with, really whatever other play you wanted in that spot. And then whenever you're trying to score, down there in the red zone, you have this single back wing slot. And this is a good single back wing slot. It has the halfback stretch. It has the halfback dive. And then if we come down here, it also has a jet sweep. And it has a really good passing play with this, where was that play at? PA jet sweep that you could kind of build off of with that short crosser. Or if you wanted to, you could just go with PA tight end scissors, kind of more of a basic passing play. But a good single back wing slot. It also has wing stack. This formation is an absolute money formation. Every single year has halfback stretch, halfback dive. I probably go ahead and put that halfback zone weak in there just so I have 3 levels of run plays. And then if you wanted to have the jet sweep, you could have that. It has a really cool little in route that is really good out of this play levels. This play smash drive is always really good. Double corner is probably the one that makes the most sense just because that out route is such a unique route in the red zone and really effective for passing down there. Then you also have a single back deuce close where you have the stretch. And then let's see, we don't have the dive here, but stretch will be just fine. And then we could do like just a basic zone run. And then you have, kind of some just of your basic, deuce close money plays, PAX post cross, PA boot slide, or bench if you want to bench, or stick. Really any of those plays. I'd probably go with stick just because it's hard to get tight and flat routes. So those are kind of the under center sets. You have strong close, which how do you not like strong close? It's a great formation every year. You have the stretch, you have the dive, which is rare that you have a stretch and a strong close. And then you also have a fullback dive in the strong close, making this a really good red zone formation. And then the other thing that's really cool is you have the wide receiver outplay, which has a short post on the tight end. So this is kind of a good little formation as well. And then when we get into the shotgun formations, there's some really cool stuff. So this wing slot, nothing too crazy within this formation. But when we get into this, you have doubles offset. This one, not too crazy, not something that you're going to run like a ton, but you do have some decent plays out of this. I would probably use this more as like a running formation. For example, like I would definitely want to have the inside zone and this run, the buck sweep, and then I would want to have this halfback punch run, kind of like a trap run. And then you could have really whatever passing play you wanted to. If you want to have an RPO, you could have an RPO out of this, like just whatever kind of gimmicky formation, maybe a jet touch pass, but really just running the ball out of this one. But when we get to this doubles flex fly off close, this is what we're going to start to see makes this such a good formation. Audibling around is going to be really good in Madden 26. And the reason why is because you get faster hot routes whenever you audible to a formation. I'm not talking about flipping a formation, even though you will see people flip their formation a lot. You get much faster hot routes when you audible from one formation into another formation than if you just came out of that formation. So you're going to see people audibling around a lot. It also causes a lot of other problems for the defense, such as alignment issues and things like that. And again, some of the most important routes in this game are short corners and short post routes, and this doubles Y flex off close has that for you. You see here we have motion angle wheel. This has a short corner to the left side. If I can find it, it might already be in the audibles here. Motion angle wheel is already in the audibles. PA snag with a short post on the left side. And then we also have motion dagger YN with a glitchy fade route. I wonder if we have, I think we have it down in here. Let's see, flood H post. This is a money play and a play that you can really build a lot of stuff around. And then I always like to have a run. I don't think you necessarily have to, but I think just the basic inside zone makes a lot of sense here. And then I would probably go ahead and put Y sail in the audibles because I'm going to want to come out and PA snag because I think it is just that good of a play. And then we have bunch spread nasty. This bunch spread nasty is really, really, really good. There's a lot of things that we could do with this formation. I think some of the best plays from bunch spread nasty are going to be this play seam divide. You're going to want to have that play seam divide in your audibles. It's got a seam wheel to the tight end, which is a really good route. Take a look here at some of the other things we have. We have motion slot hitch with a short post on the left side. You kind of want to have that play. That little unique in route is really good. You also have outside zone, I believe, in here. Great little run. And then the other play that I think just makes a lot of sense to have is this motion slot under. Why do we like that? Because we get a short corner and we get a stock fade on the left side that we can kind of build around those routes. So again, the plan is to be audibling into these formations. Another play that you might like is speed dig from here, as it has that nice crosser and in route. But let's keep going through formations. You also have bunch wide nasty. Bunch wide nasty is really good. It was kind of more in the Falcons playbook last year, but they put this in Jags playbook, and this is more of like just a traditional kind of bunch wide flex, but you still got some good stuff in here. For example, you have the play verticals, which you don't have that from every bunch this year. So you want to have that play. You have a very nice play there. You have, what was the other play we're looking at? We're looking for like a fast table route. I'm trying to remember what it was called. You do have, I'd probably go with speed dig there. This drive crosser play, it's already in the audibles. Really nice play. You have a good table route, good corner route. You got a short crosser, a kind of nice crosser there on the left, like some good routes within that play. And then the other one that I would probably suggest is probably branch return, just because the main reason why I would suggest branch return, you could go with speed dig, but there's a specific crosser you're looking for speed dig that I don't think this one has. So I'd rather you just go with branch return, because the stock return routes, not the hot route return routes, but the stock return routes that come out in plays, they're normally a little bit better. Okay? Now, bunch X nasty. This is one of the number one reasons why you want to be in this offense, because you have a good bunch X nasty. You have motion cross post, motion RPO zone alert, and then you have motion Y corner under. These three plays are a staple. Bunch X nasty, in my opinion, is probably going to be at least a top 2 to 3 offense in this game. I personally think it might even be the number 1 offense in this game. So you just have like a really, really good offense here within this, and you have a lot of other formations in which you can audible around to. Now, when we talk about that last slot for bunch X nasty, what play makes the most sense? You could go a lot of different ways. Spacing switch, you could have a run in there like a base or an outside zone. You could have smash return. I was talking about how good those return routes are. A lot of good options here, but I think the one that makes the most sense is this motion HB choice, as it has this kind of unique streak to the slot receiver. So I'll put that in the audibles there. We also have bunch tight end in this formation as well, which is awesome. Bunch tight end is a great formation to have in this year's game. And a couple of the plays that I would say make a lot of sense. Number one, this motion divide play is amazing. It's really good because it has a stock fade on the left, and it also has a short post on the slot receiver. So you can build a lot of really good combos around that play. And then let's take a look at some of the other plays we have. You see here that we have this cheat tight end hitch, HB seam, really nice little cheat motion wheel play that is really, really effective. We also have the play whips, which you just call this play. What I like about this too is we have halfback off tackle for the run. This halfback off tackle has been good for the last couple of years in this game. And then really this last slot is kind of up to you. I really like PA boot over because it gives me play action blocking. It gives me a deep post on the left side that I think is really good. You can make some arguments for some other stuff. For example, this play motion snag under has a short corner to the slot receiver, motion slot flood. You don't really need the slot fade as much this year, but you do have that. Let's see. Another one that I would say is the whips play. The whips play is just really good because it's a quick hike, and those whip routes are really powerful. But I personally am probably going to just stick with this PA boot over. All right, then we have Y off trio weak, another really good formation. Y off trio weak in this game, you're going to see here this play quick fork zig. This play is amazing inside the 5-yard line or just a short yardage play in general. This route on the right side does an amazing job of just getting underneath of the majority of coverages that you're going to see. So you have that play in your audibles. You also have a couple different options here in terms of other plays that make a lot of sense. I actually really just like the basic halfback base here. And then 4 verticals is okay. PY receiver okay plays. You don't really even need anything really that crazy here. The quick short post is kind of a unique play. What I'm looking for is the play, just a basic stick play. These auto motion plays, they're okay. I don't feel like they're that crazy, but they're okay. The orbit PA cross is kind of a cool play. It's got a couple nice routes. The RPO is kind of wild. The quick short post. So I'm probably just going to leave this formation with the plays that I have here, just because you can kind of build around the rest of the stuff here. Don't call that formation a lot. You mainly call that formation for that red zone play. Y off trio close. So Y off trio close. This is a new formation that they added to this game that is a really, really good formation. So a couple things we have. Number 1, we have motion mesh rail. Really amazing play. We have flood, which is a quick hike play. We also have motion PA cross switch, which kind of has a unique route on the right and motion inside zone. If you want to leave it just like this, you certainly can do that. But I really like these boomerang motions within this formation here. So boomerang mesh rail has got to be in there. It's one of those plays that can really out leverage any kind of like zone defense. And then the other plays here, like I said, kind of can do whatever. I really like the 0-1 trap just as a quick audible down or the outside zone. Either one of those, I'm probably going to go 0-1 trap here. Flood, I feel like you could create all those routes, so I don't really feel like I need to have that. There's some other routes, though, that you really can't, like, create. So, for example, the motion PA cross, you can't create that. That's kind of a cool play. The PA... or not the PA, the PA power shower class. To me, this has to be in the audibles because it's a play action play and it has a short post. Like, it just has to be in the audibles. It's that good of a play. I'm actually going to set it up properly here where we put that there and we put the boomerang motion there. You could build so many combos around these 4 plays. You also have tight slots as if you needed another formation. You have tight slots in here. What makes this tight slots really good is it has an auto motion wheel, motion PA slide. This play is money. You have a quick base that you could go to. You have a halfback sweep, which is underrated. And then we have some other just basic tight slots plays. Not only is this formation good, but this formation has good routes. So what we're looking for primarily, I love to have this mesh play just because we get this nice fade on the left side. And then really the other one is probably going to be either this motion bench swap, or we're just looking to see. I don't think they have a short corner. I don't think that route on the left's a short corner route. So, yeah, I think we are going to go just with the basic motion bench swap because we get a fast table route on the running back side. Tight Y off weak. Always want to kind of peek at this formation. This formation's not as good as it used to be, but it does have some routes. For example, Fork Z dig is kind of a cool play. Flanker spot with that short post on the right. And then we have this play here, post wheel drag, just a money play, really good play out of this. And then I would say just the tackle trap is kind of a good run. We also have tight doubles. Now, what makes tight doubles really good is it has some kind of auto motions and it has some routes that are really, really cool. So the first one is this motion cross halfback sneak. This is a really good play. You have a short post on the left side, Flood is really good. You have a short post on the left side. PA wide receiver cross. This has been a really good play for years in this game. Honestly, I would prefer Z-spot. I think these short corners and short posts are so daggone important, and you want to have those. The motion fake cross has that same kind of short corner, but it has an auto motion zig built in. You could go with something like that. Motion bunch option. The motion bunch options are kind of interesting, but really this is pretty good. I like curl because they actually changed curl, and now it has a short corner and it has a short or a speed table route. So again, we're just looking for power routes that we can kind of build around. You also have cluster. I mean, look at all the plays we have. We have cluster halfback strong. This has actually got the best one, or not the best one, but a good one. We have motion mesh post. We have the 45 quick base, which is an amazing run, verticals, and motion mesh corner. So you have a whole little mini scheme here that you can build around out of this as well. If I can find the play, it's just motion mesh. But these 4 plays here, really good. And then you have trips tight end, as if you needed more. You have trips tight end, and it's a good trips tight end. You have motion Z spot. You have QB zone, which is a great red zone run. You have verticals, which is just a great play to have in a trips formation. And then that last slot really could do a little bit of everything. Curl flat, drive post, deep in, whatever you want to do here, because the hot routes being a little better when you audible to formations. I personally think that the play drive post is the most important because it has that short post on that slot receiver. You can kind of build around that. And then that's pretty much it. But those are a ton of formations. Now, what formation am I going to come out in every single play? I'm honestly probably going to come out of this doubles flex because the doubles flex close is going to give me the ability to audible to any of these other formations. So I'll come out in the doubles flex close here. And typically you want to come out with your, your tight end to the side that you want to, the tight end to the wide side. If you come out with this, if you come out with your tight end to the short side, then what you're going to do is you're going to call you. This would be where you would audible into a bunch, like a bunch tight end. So if you want to audible to bunch tight end, you want to come out with your trips to, or your doubles with your tight end to the short side. If you come out generally with your tight end to the wide side, when you audible, you're going to be pretty much, this is just so good. And like I said, you can hot route so fast. So you have motion cross post, which is just a money play. You have to have this play in your playbook. This play is so doggone good. You have to have motion cross post in your playbook this year, in my opinion. You also have the ability to go to like your motion or your spread nasty here, where we have the short corner. We could stem this all the way down, and then we could go with, really whatever here, just a basic streak, corner, flat. And what you're going to see is that short corner. Should have thrown the flat. But that short corner gets into a nice spot. We actually showed that against a real defense, people would call. So you see here, motion slot under. We're just going to streak. If you wanted to, you could just run it like this. This is pretty good right here. And then what you'll see is the short corner, because it's a sharp, cutting short corner, the outside quarter normally is not going to play it. And so you're going to be able to throw it again and again and again. So just a power route. You got to have that route in your playbook. This is also why I like to play flood post. Flood post is so much better this year. You just want to stem this corner all the way down, and then I like to return route this outside guy, so it looks like this. And what you're going to see is watch that short corner just out leverage both defenders in a cover 4 to that sideline. Really gets in a nice spot. And then if they're playing aggressive or they switch to out over there to take that away, then what you have on this backside is a high-low read in the middle of the field between your post route and your return route, which we see how, we kind of throw that late in the play over the middle there. You also have PA snag. This play has so many plays, so many ways you could run this play. I think one of the easy ways is something like this. And this post, actually the yellow zone backed up 5 billion yards there. So I'm going to show you Y sail first. So if you're running this, you got to run Y sail. This is just stem the tight end corner all the way down, have a drag on the backside. Watch how far these yellow zones are going to back up. You can throw that right in that little pocket. That forces them to then have to bring their yellow zones up into the area. And then now we're going to be able to run a lot of other combos. but you'll see, look at that tight end corner, just runs super well. I think doubles flex close like has to be one of those formations this year. It's going to be a good base formation, and then you could get into like seam divide, for example. What I like to do with this is speed out this outside guy, streak this inside guy, and then in route the running back. So it kind of looks like that. And what you're going to see is you got a high-low read. A lot of times that crosser can get back. I will say this year's game, they made curl flat zones and kind of some of those zones. They made them, excuse me, they made them like back up pretty far. So you could realistically, you could run a combo like this because you know your drag is going to get into a soft spot against the defense. And then once they start to hard flat, then you're going to be able to hit this. You're going to be able to hit this crosser. Another way that I like to run this play would be something like this. Really nice, simple way to run this. You can also slot fade this guy. This is why, you got the slot hot routes, which are really nice. So the slot fades are super powerful. You see that just clears out super well against a cover 4 defense. So that's another play that I love out of this. Another one that I really like. We didn't talk about this a ton, but this RPO is so good. You're going to streak. You can hot route on RPO plays. You're going to streak and drag. And what you're going to get here is a really easy way to just hit this flat and just take some easy yards against the way most people are going to want to play defense. Motion angle wheel. A lot of people are going to sleep on this play all year long. Just simply drag and have a short corner. Watch this short corner just out leverage him to the outside. That was a curl flat zone. He didn't play him. Okay, because those short corners are so good. It's why you want to have those short corners in your playbook. I want to talk about Wild Trio close because this Wild Trio close is really, really good. PA power cross. It has kind of a unique drag route. All you're going to do is you're just going to, whoops, I totally messed up my play. Did I flip it on accident? Let's flip it back here. But what you're going to do is you are just simply going to streak or slot fade this outside guy, and then you're going to streak your running back. That's it. And what you're going to see here is, as the one dude went nuts, the short post is so good. You have to be able to beat man coverage, and that's another reason why I really like these short post and short corners. So like if we get man-to-man, let me see if that actually fixes that. If we get man-to-man here, you're just going to see that this short corner is going to do a really, really good job. So see if we can actually block a blitz here. We are able to. And I don't know why the short post just got randomly caged. Of course it did. 2 men under randomly in practice, 1 minute, just cages stuff. I'll show you that in bunch tight end as well. So in bunch tight end, you have this play motion divide. You see how I have that short post on the left side and this little stock fade. So I could do something like this, kind of a unique little play here, but I could do something like this or even just a drag and we could just block the running back. And against man coverage based defenses, this gives you a really good shot because this short corner or short post, you're going to see just gets separation over the middle of the field. It's good to get zone as well. Another formation that I would like to go to, if this is specific to like this hash. So like if I want to, again, if I want to go to bunch tight end, I want to have my tight end on the short side. I'm going to go to motion divide, streak the tight end, and then I'm going to run the play kind of like this right here. And what you get is you get the short post kind of gets into a unique spot on the field. You'll see the outside quarter is not going to really guard him. So great route to have in this offense. If you're over on this hash mark, you do have the ability to run this combo over here on the right side. YSail is great on this hash because you can let the tight end run a little bit deeper, and you're going to see here that tight end corner kind of gets into a really nice spot. And the practice mode sheds are crazy. We contain here. So you'll see here, like YSail. So I'm going to stem it down, but I'm not going to stem it all the way down. I'm just going to stem it down one time. And watch that fade just take the quarter and take both quarters in the cover 4, and then that becomes wide open. Just an easy read. Another formation we really haven't even touched on yet is this. I mean, look at all these formations we have. Like, this is crazy. When you go to gun tight slots, like this motion PA slide play, really good. You're just going to streak the slot receiver, drag the running back, and then what I like to do is I like to drag and post like that. I think that makes the most sense. And then you're just going to be able to have, combos for days. Travis Hunter kind of ran his route too good there and actually ran behind the line of scrimmage. But anyways, you have the tight slots. There's just so many formations in this playbook that you have. The other one that I wanted to show you though was this trips tight end. So what's nice about the trips tight end is you have this play motion Z spot. So you're going to stem the post up once. You're going to flat zig, stem the tight end corner all the way down, and then a streak. So it looks like this. This is a great little play for attacking different types of zone. As you see, it really out leverages a lot of things. The other thing that's good about this is you're giving them a lot of looks. You're giving them a lot of different formations where they actually have to think about what you're doing. Another really good play and another really good formation is this gun cluster with the motion mesh post. Really good for man coverage. You don't really need to make any hot routes. This auto motion's not terrible. He'll kind of stop a little bit, but it can be pretty good against the cover two. It kind of clears out for the post, which is why I run it. Washington just has no route running. That's what it comes down to. He is not somebody that you want to build around for beating man coverage. But I'll show you some other stuff out of this. What I love about the bunch or the cluster is you have verticals, and this is a good verticals. You have the ability here to just streak the running back, drag the tight end, and this is kind of like Durham. And then what you're going to see here is that tight end drag is normally really, really good. I don't know what just happened there. And then we'll also show you the what's it called? The crosser. The crosser is good against man as well. Cover two man is just hard to beat in practice mode. If you can beat it in practice mode, you can beat it in a game. Let's see. Yeah, you got just pressed. But you can just jump on them. But when I was talking about building around things, one of the things I wanted to mention here is, like I said, you can build around things. So the way that I would do that is, let's say I wanted to go to like wild trail close and run this boomerang motion. Like this is a cool motion play. So I'm going to use this boomerang motion. I'm going to streak Thomas. Okay. And then I'm going to flat route my running back. And then what I'll typically do is have like a post like that or something. And what you'll see is, watch this boomerang motion, kind of a unique thing. It's going to really mess with man coverage a little bit. See how that man coverage like just gets out leveraged to the flat. Of course, we get a good play there. But the man coverage defender out leverages him to the flat, and then you have some other things that you can actually hit as a result of that. So, anyways, I'm not going to spend too much time on that motion. Man coverage is definitely something here. But I just think, like for example, like let's say I want to put the tight end on a zig. Like this makes a lot of sense with like just a backside basic post. You have stuff like this little boomerang motion that you'll see. Watch how it runs. Well, if you just let it run here a little bit, see, kind of runs out. And then, yeah, man coverage is wild in practice mode. Actually wild. I'm now determined to beat man coverage to show you we can actually consistently beat man in this. Let's find a play. What would I call if I want to consistently beat man? What do you think I would call? I would call motion cross post. Stem the tight end down, streak this guy. Like this setup right here, you're going to beat some man coverage. You will beat man coverage. You'll see here that this crosser is amazing at beating man coverage. Okay, you don't want to put the drag. You just keep that stop crosser, and you're going to be beating man coverage. Another thing we didn't even get into, one of the best setups of college football, motion mesh rail. All you're going to do here is streak, drag, and then you're going to post, and then you can leave this running back, or if you want to streak him, you can. But against man coverage, this one, you'll see you get that speed motion. And again, sometimes the speed motion will get over the top, but normally we got our little crosser or our backside post that we're able to hit against man coverage consistently. Now, I got to show you this before we get out of here. This is the red zone. And if you're going to be on this left side hash mark, this is a great, and I mean great red zone play. You're just going to go over to the quick fork zig, and really this play pretty much stock is set up. Like you just call it. Look at where this little circle receiver kind of gets to on the field. If he's not open, the tight end corner will be open. So right there, I happen to have like a yellow zone. So I actually show the tight end corner. Sometimes when you're calling base coverages that, they play a little better. But anyway, watch how this tight end, see how that tight end kind of gets there. Just check it down, take the easy yards. The other thing we have though with this. Let me actually go back to like cover 3. The other thing that you could do down here in the red zone is you can go to flood post and you can run a wheel route to your running back. And then I like to curl my tight end. You can do whatever you want on the back side of this. But what you're going to see is that short corner really does a good job in the red zone, especially if you run it to the wide side. And then the main thing with this this little play here, Wild Trio, this quick fork zig, is really it's for more so a cover 2. A lot of people like cover 2 down here. Let's see how this plays against cover 2. See how you can kind of throw it like right underneath the zone, and then you can kind of catch it in traffic and in stride and run the ball in. And then if you want to run the ball down in the red zone, you have some really good running plays. Like I said, I think the best way to do this would probably be this. The strong close is good, but I honestly think the best run down here is going to be your single back wing stack with this halfback stretch. This run should be pretty effective for you down here to be able to get some easy yardage in the red zone. But the other thing you have is you have the ability to go to double corner. What I like to do with this play is I'm actually going to take this receiver Thomas and I'm going to put him on a flat route. And what we're really looking for is this little pocket right here where you can throw that little in route. So I love that route. That route is kind of a unique route that you have. Let me show you real quick. And then you can really do whatever else you want on the play. And you see you can also stem this route. So I can get him to kind of run a little bit deeper. And you see if it's man coverage, that route's going to win. So you have that. Don't need a whole lot of passes down here. You just need effective passes. You also can get into single back wing slot. And, you have some other runs as well. But the stretch is the best run. That is just a quick overview of the Jacksonville Jaguars offensive playbook. If you guys want to get any of my full offensive or defensive ebooks, they're available in our school community, and you can sign up for that by clicking the link in the description down below.